Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Welcome back once again as we're here with the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. As it's all starting to happen here at the Kansas Motor Speedway. As last week we saw Bristol, tonight we're going to take on this fantastic 1.5 miler, and it's going to be quite the show we put on for you, as it has been quite the start to the season for these guys, as it's been a bumpy road for some, a good start for others. We'll see if Kansas can continue the trend for the ones at the top of the leaders board, or will the ones that have been trickling down that board come through and find their way to the top here as we come to Kansas. But tonight, my name is Zach Hall, and we're going to be bringing up our sponsor logo as we are tonight here for the Xcelerate Studios 250 for the Kansas Speedway. It is going to be quite the show, like I said. As my name is Zach Hall, and joined alongside me tonight, I will have our producer Robert Moyer Jr., as he's going to be calling the coverage along with me and showing you all the sights and sounds. So Robert, we got some 1.5 mile action here tonight, and it's going to be fun because this track known for multiple lanes, and I think we're going to hear a lot about the lanes because this new update and all the dirty air.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, Zach. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're definitely going to see how this all plays out here. You know, this track is known for, different lanes and different things like that. So we'll have to see, where these guys want to place themselves out there. Do you run the high line? Do you want to, run the low line, get out of the dirty air, things like that, you know what I mean? So yeah, you're right. Well, it's going to be a fun race here at Kansas, and this track is fun to race, but it can also be daunting too at the same time.
It really can be a daunting place because before, previously with the previous update we had, it seemed to stay packed up with the draft, and now it seems like we're seeing more spread out with this package. But the aero and the multi-lane usage is going to be key, and this track is definitely one of the tracks that's known for that multi-lane racing. But one thing also coming in tonight, Robert, I know a big talk of the town is just how everything's going to be handled out there when it comes to penalties. So I know you know a little bit more about this stuff, but it is definitely going to be a night where I think drivers are going to have to be on their P's and Q's, and we'll see what type of racing that produces. What are the drivers going to drive like, knowing that some of the consequences behind things?
Good question. I bring it down to they're just gonna have to be careful. The penalty system after last week's race at Bristol, which was a race that some people didn't want to see, didn't want to have, or didn't have a good night there, stuff like that. But also, you also seen a great finish at Bristol here with the 90 car basically running right into the back of, the race winner last week, trying to get that first win of the season. So, the penalty point system is going to be tight. If you get involved into a wreck and it's your first one, you get a drive-through penalty. If you get involved into a next one and it's your fault, you're parked for the night. So we might see some DQs and drivers just all of a sudden leaving the track, and that's it. I mean, you drive with your head, more is what these guys are trying to do, is to calm down on, the yellows, because, like I said, last week was just one of them races that it was brutal for everybody all the way around.
It really was. It was a tough scenario, and I've seen it before. This is something, being around sim racing, especially here at Freaky Fast Broadcast, myself, even racing myself, it is something that happens at Bristol on the short track. Sometimes you're going to have those tough races, and I know even coming into this, I think they were, before we broadcasted the series, Robert, you ran the series, I know there was definitely some bumps and bruises for a lot of guys in this series. So they definitely feel like they're going to have to crack down, and sometimes that's what you have to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how that does play out, because we've also had two major contenders step away from the racetrack and go to the race control booth. So it is not only a change up of how the penalty system works, but a change up of drivers out there and who to watch, who can step up and really take advantage of, say, some top tier drivers, say, taking a step aside to give up their own race, because this is one thing I gotta give to say also, Robert, is shout out to them because they're giving up their love of racing to go out there and try to make everything better for everybody. So gotta
Hmm.
give those two drivers a credit there.
Yeah, no, I get it too. I gave up the love of racing to make sure we get a show going on here,
Yep.
as we'll bring up the point standings, and this is basically everybody that's watching these point standings that you're seeing right now are gonna be shuffled, big time, because what we were just noting on there, you got Adam Buzzio that is there in ninth position. Made himself, worked his way after a dismal start of the season, got himself up to ninth position, and he parked it. Now, how long is he going to park it for? It's up to the drivers, right? I mean, the drivers, when we start getting the yellows down, they might start coming out there more. But the other driver is down here in 25th position, really having a really rough season, actually, here is Stephen Borbell in 25th position. So, not saying that Steven wouldn't have a chance to make it, but I wouldn't worry too much about Stevens. What I'd be worried more about is Adams getting knocked out, and that's going to shuffle everything from Adams on down. You know what I mean? Down to Carpool,
Yeah.
Coulter Clark. You got Nicholas. You got Shelby, which unfortunately can't be here tonight. Jared Hughes, Dakota Camper. Evan Pico, all these guys have a chance now, Zach, to, work their way up and make it into the playoffs. You drop one driver, that opens it up for three more.
That it does, and I mean, I look at the points right now. Coulter Clark right now, who is on the under the cut line right now, but like you said, with Buzzio stepping aside here, that will push him up. Here as the races go on, of course, towards that cut line. But Coulter Clark there, 103 back from our leader. You look back to Braxton Skinner in 22nd. That is only 19 points separating those drivers.
Right.
So from 13th to 22nd points, it's 19 points right now. It is so close. And then you got another 13 back to Scott Fritz, who we've seen having a good run at Bristol. So you get some things going in the right way. Same for Joshua Parent game. He finished top 2 there. Didn't get the win. That's, we saw there from Johnny Wood Jr., of course, at Bristol, but Joshua Parent, he moved all the way up to 26th, and he was talking about him feeling very good about moving forward. So we got some big names coming up, and this is going to be quite, I think, the showdown as we get closer and closer to that cut coming into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. We'll get closer and closer to the cut line there when the playoff starts, and we head back over to Pit Stop TV as they will take over and coverage the rest of, the playoffs, races over there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is crazy to think, and it all starts tonight. We said it started last week. Well, now it really starts tonight because of everything being shuffled all around, and so for everybody that is following, the BRB Cup Racing League here, that's what's going on. So the insight of why them drivers are not out there and what's going on. So when we get closer to the playoffs, Zach, here at 50 Fast, we will have a ticker showing who's in, who's out of. Once we get closer to that, we'll have live point standings showing on the screen of who's battling to make it in and who has a chance and who doesn't. But we got to get closer to that step as these guys are wrapping up qualifying here tonight. Wrapping up practice here tonight, getting ready to go into qualifying. So we'll have to see how what the track's going to do to these guys here once we roll into that part of the session. And then I was also told we might have a 2-minute warm-up for them. I'm not sure what the warm-up's for, but maybe somebody can let me know in the future, because I'm not exactly sure what the warm-up's for.
I believe they wanted to they want to have an exploratory lap, where you see in the real life Cup Series, the first lap of before the green flag race, they'll send all the Cup cars down pit road. They'll set their tachometers and their gauge for pit speed. They'll get told if they're speeding, not speeding from the, NASCAR officials, and they'll also cite their box in, of course, do those such things. And these guys wanted to have that feeling of that, so they wanted to incorporate it, but wouldn't really work due to how the black flags happen, and it's just a big old kerfuffle, I would say, more than anything. I think they'd say, and I think they wanted to implement, maybe the warm up there to have it. So we'll see how that works out for them, and we'll see how that shakes up. But now we head into qualifying, Robert, and this could be some of the most important time. We see how this new update is went. I personally have done an intermediate track now myself as with the cars, and I can tell you track position is so valuable when it comes to that air out in front of that race car. So I'm very interested to see who's going to be out here and put down fast times for qualifying, because this is what it's all about.
Well, you're going to want to start up into the front anyways now, because like you said, dirty air with these cars and the way they handle and the way they work now. They had a practice race last night and I watched, and it was good, and it was weird because these cars, these guys are, I don't want to say they're overdriving the vehicle, but it's a new beast. I went out and did some testing at Texas, for gonna race on a league that we do on Sunday nights there, Zach, and I threw my hands up in the air. I couldn't get out of turn 2 without spinning the dang thing out.
Yeah, it's tough. It's new. It's different, and even myself, I felt like I very much struggled with getting the grips with it. I mean, I think it's just going to take some time for a lot of these drivers to find exactly what they need when it comes to that. But right now, the times are starting to flow through, and a very fast time for Eric Jensen there in the 88. That's ahead of Johnny Wood Jr., who was just our most recent winner in the 75 machine. Nicholas Renner now in third, but Kyle Heath, as I say that, he storms up to the top with a 29.92, and now Isaiah Sutherland up there 29.92.7. So the thing we're seeing too a lot of times, Robert, with this new package, first laps have been the fastest laps for a lot of these drivers, and right now we're seeing a lot of that from everybody.
That's interesting. The first lap. Normally it's the second lap, but yeah, I guess what would make that difference though? I mean, you would think you would have more grip with the tires heating up, I kind of mind boggled on that one.
Yeah, it really seems to be that these tires from the most recent update, the first 10 laps is when you see the most fall off from the tires. You will see the tires drop off the most then at that 10 mark, they'll drop off a few more tenths, but it's very dramatic in the first few laps. And I think that's why that first lap is actually valuable. You got that 100% wear on them tires. They're brand new stickers. They got some heat from that out lap, and they're ready to rock and roll. And as I say that, Jared Hughes storms to the top position on his first lap. We'll see if the second time around, as we're watching him here, can produce anything better. But again, about 2 to 3 tenths slower on the second lap from everybody I've seen. So it is very much important to get that first lap, get some heat in the out lap, and find the speed on the opening lap. So it is very much attuned back to what we would see in the previous years of iRacing, where first laps used to be the money laps, because the second lap your tires had a little bit of wear already on them.
Yeah, that's something else. That goes to show you that these tires, cold and fresh, but with the out lap you get, warming up them tires, but by that second lap, which, I mean, then the tires go away slowly but surely here, and also these guys in qualifying, they're not saving tires, right? I mean, you're going full board trying to get the fastest lap that you possibly can, so you're just eating up them tires. As right now we see Christian put him in P7 right now, and it looks like he's going to try to take another lap here, Zach.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's taking that second lap. A lot of these guys are still willing to do that. So Christian Barnes, big slide for that driver in the 27 down the back straight. That lap's going to be thrown away, but 7th on the first one, still very solid. As now we'll be checking out Zachary King in the 51. Don't believe we had him last week at Bristol, so we'll get to see what the 51 can do here. Is actually, he'll be pulling down the back straight. Oh, sorry, he's already completed his lap. So right now he's 24th on the board right there, ahead of Richard Wolsifer. Is now we're watching Dakota Blay in the 25 machine try to put down his quick laps, but I think they'll get a little loose out of 2 there on that first lap, and that could really hurt the speed on this first one.
Yeah, and he's not sticking it to the bottom either. You can see the car's drifting up for him, so that's not going to help him, because you're going to want to run that low line, and then he's also not going to take it down. So we'll see where take it all the way down below. So it's going to be P28, and he's not going to get this next lap in, unfortunately.
Yeah, don't think it will have enough time, like you said here, Robert, down the back straight, but it'll be 28th on the board. Will be have to stand for the 25 machine. Has definitely had a few out there not take time. Joshua Parent. I don't know if we'll see if Gavin Rogers does partake in the race. I believe he's just in here watching. We have Dan Staccario, and also I believe the Stephen Borbell, of course, who will be in the race control booth. So yeah, we'll head to this warm up here, Robert, and we'll see.
It's actually a
what these
5-minute
drivers
warm
do.
up.
Yeah,
I actually like
warm-up here.
it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Now we don't have to rush. If they keep that 5-minute while we're broadcasting warm up, I would be happy, because then we can go into the schedule here. And this is what I have so far. 6 races in. Tonight is the 7th race, but as you can see right now here, we have multiple different winners. And we don't have no back-to-back winners yet. Well, okay, we do. Gavin Rogers, sorry. We got one back-to-back winner. Other than that, it's been a different winner every week.
That it has been, and it's been really fun to watch so far. From just the little bit I've seen, and that last week at Bristol, it's been fun. But these next few weeks, I mean, of course, here at Kansas tonight, we got Charlotte the week after that. Then you got Dover, Indy, Gateway. I mean, it is getting into that really big mix of races. So it is going to be fun to see who can really take control of this, so to say, build and figure it out with these next few races, because we've had such a mixed bag so far with the winners. It could really be a mix of winners all the way till the end. So we don't know how this is all going to shake out, but I'm telling you, it is definitely always fun when you bring in a huge update that changes everything. It flips it on its head, Robert. So it's definitely huge. Something we're going to see that's cool.
Huge, because like you said, it flips it on the head, and these drivers get comfortable with one thing, and then you flip it over, and they got to go out and relearn this. Not just one driver. Everybody has to go out and relearn this, and what the character is, behind these cars, and what are they actually going to do, and what are the tires going to do, what it does in the draft, what it does running side by side. Do you got the aero push, the dirty air? How bad is that? There's a number of different things, as it looks like they fast forward warm up here, Zach, and it looks like we are going to get ready to go into the race.
That we are. We'll get ready to grid this field up, and when they get onto the pit road, we will bring you your starting grid for tonight's Xcelerate Studios 250 here at the Kansas Motor Speedway. And there you see it. Jared Hughes on pole position, number 98, feeling strong up front. He's going to be joined alongside on that front row by the 23 Brandon Maddox. Third place, Kyle Heath, looked strong last week, and he's going to have his teammate beside him in fourth of Isaiah Sutherland. Fifth is going to be Zachary Branville. Sixth is going to go to that early top time holder of Eric Jensen. Seventh is going to be Christian Barnes. Eighth is going to be our points leader of Dustin Stallings. Ninth is going to be Cameron Gilman. And last week's winner, Johnny Wood's going to round out our top 10. Scott Fritz going to start in that 11th position, along with the 12th position being held by the 3 of Dakota Camper. 13th is going to be the 07 of Josh C. Anderson. 14th is going to be second place man in points, Ronnie Osmier. 15th is going to be Sam Dyer, but I've got word he will be starting on pit road. He feels like he wants to avoid some of the chaos here early. So Sam Dyer, look for him to start from the pits there. 16th is going to be the 14 of Zachary Maddox. 17th is going to be the 33 of Braxton Skinner. 18th is going to go to the 46 of Matthew Shelby. 19th is going to be Braden Vander Wingarden. 20th is going to go to Nicholas Ritter. 21st is going to be Carl Pooler. 22nd is going to be Andrew Rattel. 23rd is going to be Caden Perkins. 24th is Zachary King. 25th, Richard Wolsifer. 26th, Coulter Clark. 27th is going to be the 52 of Cole Lewis. 28th is Dakota Blay. 29th is going to go to Evan Pantenko. 30th is going to go to Gray Walker. And Joshua Parent going to line up in 31st. And Dan Staccario going to round out the field in 32nd, as Gavin Rogers and Steve Doorbell will be sitting out this race as we get our field gridded up on the back straight. Robert, it's looking pretty here for the start of Kansas.
Beautiful race gonna happen here. Tonight's weather so far is the air temperature is gonna be at 78 degrees, track temperature 89, with the winds around 10 to 11 miles per hour southeast, with 29% humidity at 5:44 in sim time. So that's going to be the start of tonight's race here. Weather as we get ready to go green, Zach.
That we do, Robert. Pace car is in, and just as we say that, the green flag is out here for the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series here at the Kansas Motor Speedway for the Xcelerate Studios 250 as they roar down the turn one. Jared Hughes going to lead the way. Kyle Heath looking for second as Brendan Maddox sliding back on the outside line here off of turn two, but there's a car sliding off of two farther back in the field. He's going to save that. We stay green down the backstretch.
As we stay green down the backstretch, as we see what we're doing here, as we go 2x2x2 in here, side by side, and we're going to see what Kyle Heath can do. We're going to keep it on the high side, and they're looking pretty good right now.
That they are looking pretty strong. Kyle Heath looking to run the outer lane as he's going to catch the wind off the back of the 98 machine of Jared Hughes, trying to find that draft. That's one thing that's been weakened in this build. The draft not as strong. That dirty air much stronger in the corners. So we'll see what Heath does. Tries to find the air if he can, but farther back in the fields, you see our points leader Dustin Stallings and last week's winner Johnny Wood here back in 12th and 14th, kind of stuck on this outer groove, and we'll see how this works out for these drivers as we ride on board with the 00.
Right along with Stallings here as he's going to ride the high line, keep it right on that top line, slowly get back in the gas and let these tires warm up as we got Renner right beside him in that number 22 machine trying to work his way underneath them. And, you know, that's the thing, Zach. Yeah, do you run the top? Do you run the bottom? Do you save tires? You know, where's the saving tires at, you know, as we see Stallings got into the wall.
That he did a little touch to the wall. Doesn't like he did any damage to that race car as he stays straight for the time being. We check back here to Carl Pooler in the 71 machine. He's back here around the 18th and 19th position. Great battle with Braden in the 1 machine. Also Caden Perkins in the 19 in this grouping as they're going to look to dice it up down the back straightaway. The 71 looked to the outside of the 1 but just couldn't find the grip, but now will find that quarter panel. Will Carl Pooler find the position on Braden, or will he hit the wall? A slight tap as he makes the exit, but it's going to be the momentum to the 71.
Well, and that's the thing. I seen this last night in a practice race. Coming out of 4, a lot of people were scraping that wall, Zach, coming out of 4. And not just one or a couple of drivers. There was a lot of drivers running in as we got a spin going on.
Spin down the back straightaway, and it looks like that might have been Johnny Wood Jr. No, Carl Pooler and Johnny Wood Jr. involved in that there. So not exactly sure if it happened up ahead. Yeah, actually started around Wood Jr. Oh, and the same thing for Pooler. It was just identical moments for these guys as we're going to go back, I think, here and take a look at it, Robert.
Yeah, we'll look at the replay here and see exactly what happened and where it started at. We're riding along with Carl Pooler. I'm not sure. Oh, he got tapped
touch
there.
from Braden.
Yeah, oh, that just upsetted the car, and around he goes. Now, what happened to Johnny? What happened to Johnny?
Did almost the same thing at right ahead here. So we'll get a look at it this time. Robert, a little contact between him and the 22 and Nicholas Renner. He's going to go off into turn 1, right on the bottom, right in the dirty air. The 33 wash up the track. And look at that. The car, as it got some downforce underneath it, it rotated and it lost the rear end. 75 hard collision with the left rear there on the inside wall. So last week's winner already in pit road and a lap down. Carl Pooler, though, still staying out on the racetrack as he's going to be trying to limp it around for that lap 40 stage.
Yeah, lap 40. We're 7 laps into to get to lap 40. But, yeah, like you just said there, that is, you know, these cars. And I was told, too, Zach, that, you know, these guys got to watch with the aero with these cars. You get up behind somebody and, you know, Sam told us that you get up behind somebody, and maybe you know better, too, that you can really take the air off these things.
Oh, you definitely can. A lot of people, it's coming out, you know, the phrase term is aero griefing is what a lot of people are saying, the rear aero grief. You can drive these next-gen cars. If you can find the grip, the speed, and the ability to get up to the rear bumper of someone in the center of the corner, it will almost just push them around. It is very, very delicate with how you have to drive around other drivers, and it's something we might see here later tonight, and it's something we'll talk about, I'm sure, on Wednesday nights. Is some 3 wide action, I think, farther back in the field. Dustin Stallings, and I believe also the 22 winner, they were all just battling there 3 wide, but it is definitely, I think, a subject that we're going to hear a lot over these next few weeks, Robert, between Tuesday and Wednesday nights, with drivers just getting very close to the rear end and snapping loose in front of them. So we'll have to watch how that plays out, but while all this did play out, Kyle Heath did get to the lead. So we have to note that. Heath did get around Hughes, and that's a great job for Heath, who, like I said, clean air could be king in this new build. So if he can get out front, you want to do it.
Well, that's it. Clean air, right? Get out front and, stay out front. Clean air is the king, like you said. And as we're watching back here, as Scott Fritz now running here in P7, not bad for him. He's working his way up through the field. And, if you're packing air behind somebody, how, do you use it as as a weapon? Is what I'm thinking. I mean, if you're one of them drivers and you could do it to somebody, would you use it as a weapon, or would you be nice about it?
I think the only time you look to use it, Robert, is late in a race. If it's a situation where a driver's holding you up for a very long time and it's go time, maybe you drive up to him. If you can get that close enough to him and get him that loose to get around him. But I will say you have to play very nice when they get loose. You can't just run over them after they get loose. You got to be able to get them loose and get by them, or hopefully let them gather it up. I mean, it's definitely something that people will not take a liking to you doing it a lot of them. So I think early in these races, you don't want to definitely use that. But for a race win, I think it's definitely a tool that's going to be seen used here as these seasons wear on.
Well, from what you're telling me, I don't like it, as we have another car spinning through the grass, I think.
Dakota Camper. That's going to keep it screened, though.
Wow. Yeah, we can see Dakota Camper now. He's going through. We'll go back and watch to see what happened. I think it's probably the same thing. The car's probably just going to snap loose, correct? I mean, this is what we've been seeing here, with this car. It's look at that thing. Just nothing. Oh, man. He just did a jump, and now he's mowing grass.
Yeah, that was a tough slide there for him. Yeah, just seems like the car just over-rotated on the exit, lost the rear end, and Camper now going to be about 20 seconds behind the leaders in the 30th position. His teammate of Camper up front is Kyle Heath leading the way. He's starting to open up quite a little gap here, and this is something we don't see a lot before in these next gens. You didn't see gaps form. You usually saw that top 3, top 4, top 5 stay very much grouped up together for majority of a run. Well, you're going to start seeing this a lot more. Separation will happen with the aero. And right now, that leader out front enjoying the aero that he's getting is Maddox back here trying to fight back Zachary Brandvold, who's having an excellent run in this 55 right now, right ahead of Christian Barnes, who we saw make that mistake in qualifying on the second lap, but has been excellent so far to start this race off.
Yeah, he's been excellent so far, and as he's packing up the air behind that number 55 machine and trying to maybe get him loose a little bit without wrecking him. I'm sure there's a tricky way to do it, as we got Isaiah Sutherland now. He's going to look low and try to get underneath that 27 vehicle, but from what it looks like, he's not going to be able to do it right now. He's going to fall right back behind and try to work him maybe into the next turn. Ooh, as the 27 did get loose.
Yeah, they are. It looks like these cars are very much a little bit of a snap loose condition. And what I mean by that is cars seem to really step out on you very, very late in the corner. And it's because the front end is just pushing. You're putting the wheel in to stay off that wall. And then as you get to that lateral grip limit on the exit, the car just steps out. And once these cars step out, you lose downforce points because you need to be as straight as possible to feed that aero on that floor of the car. Sideways doesn't feed air into the floor of the car. It definitely causes a big issue. So right now we're seeing Sutherland trying to make a pass, and this is one thing that's been tough. Passing has been very tough in this new build because the draft not very strong, and also side drafts. You're going to see here, Sutherland's going to try to employ the side draft that we've seen previously. You would just lay on that door and you pull that driver right back. But look at Barnes. He was able to drive right back around the outside of the 24 through the side draft.
So the side draft's not that strong in these cars anymore, is what you're telling me, correct?
That it is not. It is very much seems to be one of those situations that the side draft is very weak.
Well, that makes it interesting. As we go back here in 18th position right now, we're going to check out the 90 machine here. He, last week's second place, finisher. Says he's looking forward to having a great season the rest of the year. As well, that's the other thing you don't want to do. You don't want to touch that apron at all. But we'll have to see if he can bounce back and start getting that machine up front, which I do believe he's got the talent. He knows what he's doing. It's just seat time for him, from what he said last week.
It definitely seems like Parent does have some strong speed. I mean, I've watched lap times from him kind of coming throughout the field, and he has been considerably quick around top 5 to top 10 speed. So we'll see if he can find his way forward right now, trying to fight with the one of Braden and pull a little side draft. But again, you see there, that outside line just prevailing with that side draft on the inside, not really helping.
No, but it looks like he might be able to get around the one machine there. And nope, they're going to go side by side, and they're not going to give up for 18th and 17th position. They're going to keep on battling. As we go back here to Walker, Walker's moved himself up to 20th position. He's up 10 positions right now, Zach.
That he is. Walker doing a great job in that 18 machine. Last week at Bristol, it started early for him, got loose, spun in front of the field, and it really was a huge mishap for him as it took him out of the race early there. So Gray Walker definitely finding some speed here early, and the lap time he just ran right there, a 30.98. I mean, that is considerably quicker than majority of the field ahead of him. So this 18 looking strong right now, is a lot of the field running very similar lap times.
But as a driver, you don't want to hear that, right? I mean, you don't want to be running the same lap time as the leader. I mean, you do, but not everybody running the same lap time. You always want to be faster than everybody else, but right there, he's taunting with that outside wall, though. That's the thing you can see if you start looking at these, the right side of these cars, Zach. A lot of these cars are starting to get damaged from hitting that wall on the outside or forward.
And if you build that up, it's only going to get worse. So we'll see how that compiles for the rest of this race. But we are doing a good job. I mean, the first 23 laps here, clean and green so far, and we're going to be trying to make it to that lap 40 stage and make everybody see how this works out, because right now we are having some shakeups for position. Oh, Isaiah Sutherland in the top 5. They're still battling. Him and Christian Barnes still battling. I think finally Sutherland up here is going to get the pass done. Dustin Stallings also, he's been able to get around, I believe, Ronnie Osmer, and we've seen some great race in action right here up in this top 5. So great job by Sutherland to get the job done, get the pass happening, because Kyle Heath up front has opened up about a second gap. So Heath looking very, very quick.
Very quick for Heath right now, and again, clean air as he's pulling away from Hughes. But I got to give bravos right now, man. This is clean and green so far, ladies and gentlemen. We have not seen the yellow. I don't want to jinx it because, the commentators curse. But right now, these drivers are showing that they have the talent and the skill to do this.
They are showing that for sure, Robert. And just looking throughout the field, one thing I just noticed, Carl Buller pulled it behind the wall. I think Carl Buller might have actually ended up wrecking out of this race. When he had that incident that slid him down the back straightaway, I think had another one, and Carl is out of this race. That was a tough break for the 71, who did not need that to happen tonight. So he's going to be back here in 32nd position.
Yeah, we're watching here on the replay right now as see what happens is, he's got, whoa, it looks like maybe Johnny took some air off of him, and oh man, into the wall. And he got it off the track before the yellow came out too. So unfortunately, he just I'm not sure exactly what happened there.
That is so tough for Carl Puller right there, just head-on collision to the wall, and that is race over for the 71 machine. As we check back up here, it's going to be Dustin Stallings. He's going for the positioning right now on that 48 of Scott Fritz, who's in the wall here. Stallings doing a good job here. Going to have a better exit on the bottom, and he's going to be a nose ahead here entering one. Let's see what Stallings can do. Can he clear the points leader once again, moving his way forward as he's dropped back around the 14th position, Robert? He's done a good job to move back forward.
Yeah, he's moving back forward as he's going to get her around. Scott Fritz there in that 48 machine. And Scott's still looking good, though. It's a long race to go yet. There's no rush yet, right? I mean, just let's get through the stages right now and then worry about, the end of the race right now, as these guys are just taking it easy, trying to keep their car nice and clean as we look at Sam Dyer way back here with everybody else. We got Sam Dyer back here in 28th position. And then we go up to a little bit. We got Zachary King running in the back, staying out of trouble right now. And then we got Dakota up here in that number 25 machine. He's running in 25th position. Evan, we haven't talked about much of him. He's back here in 24th position. And these drivers back here, I would not, not worry about them right now. But by the end of the race, we'll see these guys up front, I do believe. Right now, they're just taking it easy. As we see Richard right now in that 56, he's just back here riding, taking it easy. And, last night's practice race, Zach, Richard did not do so well. He spun out. He hit the wall. I mean, he was just all over the place, unfortunately, for that 56. But it looks like he's just taking it easy now and trying to make it to the end of the race is what, some of these guys are trying to do.
Definitely trying to find their feeding here early on this up. They know Wolfsford. They're in the wall a little bit. That's going to slow him up a little, bring Cole Lewis back into this battle here for 21st. But definitely been some interesting battles all around the say the least right now. But the quickest man out front, the man still leading, Kyle Heath, he has been starting to open the gap back up, and it's about 1.3 seconds back to Jared Hughes. And looking lap time wise, he continues to be one of the quicker cars in the field.
Yeah, and what's funny is what Jared ran the best lap so far was a 30.154, and he matched it with Keith with the same lap time there. Oh, as we do got a yellow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yellow is out, and want to see what it is for. I do not see a race car right now.
Looks like the 19 might be.
Aiden Perkins here.
No.
Aiden Perkins was coming off a pit road. Not sure. Not the. Oh, sorry, Dan Staccario in the 62 machine, and Dakota Camper in the 3 involved in an incident. So see what happens. I believe this is right here where it happens, Robert. So we're gonna see this here on replay. And it looks like did the lines just came together?
Okay.
I don't know if Camper thought he was gonna clear in time, and he just came up the track all the way, and I think that's unfortunately an incident that the 3 might have not caused him. He just didn't come all the way up the racetrack there.
Yeah.
As he went to go around him, and that is unfortunate. Just turns himself off the nose of Staccario, and that is just tough for Dakota Camper. Heavy damage for both of those drivers.
Well, let's see if we can get a ride on here. Trying to find the right camera, as you can see there. As we will go back one more time and see if we can get inside the cockpit and see exactly what the 3's seeing here. As you can see the 62 up high, and I guess he thought he was clear.
It clearly looks like he was opening up the line to, thinking he would clear the 62 there, but just
it looks like he thought he was clear, not clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he went up like that. 62 wasn't even there.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that, and that is tough for both of them because that's major damage, and see if any penalties are levied out or anything of that such. But Kyle Heath here in an interesting situation right now. I mean, think of this. You're going to be restarting on super old tires here for this stage because that was not our stage break. We're going to be going back green here before this stage is over to get to 40. And if you're Heath here, he likes to take that bottom lane. Hughes likes to take second. How much wheel spin are we going to see? This new build tends to have a ton of wheel spin.
Yeah, how the tires react? Can you tell the fans out there that are watching? Cold, you go from hot to cold. Do they react pretty good? Do they cool down fast enough? Do you even have any of that information yet, Zach?
They really seem to just get less grip and less grip as the wear continues to go on. So I think we could very well see some good bit of wheel spin here. I think these guys are going to have to definitely be gentle and delicate. Or this track, again, it really, I think a lot of times depends on what is the track's grip surface, what type of grip does that tire have on the surface, on the sim, and we'll see. I mean, if Kansas is grippy enough, maybe the old tires will grip right up and be no problem. Or if it's not grippy enough, we might see some wheel spin issues. So get ready, buckle down, folks. We're getting ready to end stage one in a wild fashion. Old tires all out front here. First cars that pit are back in the 16th position, led by the 15 Ronnie Osmer, but we're into the restart zone, and here we go. Green flag is out. Heath on the bottom,
Oh,
and there it is.
is.
Wheel spin, Zachary Brandvold up into the wall, and it's going to be collisions on back, and then everybody's going to scatter. As you can see, the wheel spin causing mayhem.
Mayhem is right. I mean, wheel spin, and then everybody trying to work their way around, and now you got these front leaders like babying it. Oh, as we got the 27 getting loose. Oh, man, these tires... Yeah, hang on to it, man. Yeah, these guys are just struggling right now to hang on to the tires, and hang on to the car, more or less, as we got Maddox right now in that 23 trying to figure out how to get around that 13 of Kyle, as he wants that stage win is what he wants.
Kyle Heath looking to pull off a stage victory here, but it's the 23 of Brendan Maddox looking to bear down on him, but the yellow flag is out, and that's going to bring it into the stage right there, as there's a big one, I think, farther on back. Nicholas Renner actually involved in this, is I believe he went around for maybe a little bit of, a little bit of help, for sure, a little bit of help here. We'll get to see that, but it involved a few others, and so there's collecting damage, but I think this 90 here, actually, sorry, it's not going to be the 90 of Joshua Parent, I don't believe.
No, I'm on Nicholas right now.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be the 46 of Matthew Shelby here. You're going to see Renner, a little contact Shelby there into the car on his outside, and boom, right into the back of the 22.
What was that?
I think also, I think that was new tires versus old tires.
Is that what that was? Because that was a huge surge from the 46.
Yeah, Shelby was on new tires. He was one of the first cars on new tires. So, yeah, right here, just a misjudgment, in my opinion, of
boom.
You should know that that car's ahead. Some of them are not going to be on fresh tires, and you can't just drive through the car. You got to watch that car, not accelerate with them. And, yeah, I think we'll definitely see some repercussion from that monster.
Well, that's going to be, the new penalty system. The 46 is going to get that penalty because, unfortunately, as you can see right here, man, yeah, Nicholas wasn't even on the gas yet, and he got turned around, and then everybody else got involved into it. Unfortunately, it looked like Coulter Clark's might have even got some damage out of that.
Definitely some big damage being collected all around from multiple cars, and that one, though, should... If anything, I believe, Robert, if you know correctly, they do end it if within 5 is the stage. So,
correct.
Yeah, I believe that's going to hand the stage win over to Kyle Heath there, and they're going to be coming off of pit road. Do we have Kyle Heath?
No, Kyle Heath went into pit road, so lap 40, I don't see Matthew Shelby. I don't see him getting a stage win after being the cause of the yellow.
Well, that, and I believe Heath should be the winner of the stage due to the yellow coming out. It should freeze the field there.
Yeah,
and then after the stage break. So we're not sure who won, but I would say 99% sure that it's Kyle Heath. So folks out there, just know Kyle Heath, most likely our stage winner here tonight at the Xcelerate Studios 250 here at Kansas Speedway. That was an interesting first stage, Robert. I tell you, I enjoyed it, and also the thing that's going to get more interesting, these top 3 up front are the drivers who pitted for fresh tires there before, and they have kind of jumped the stage, and those tires didn't really get any usage on them, so it's going to be very interesting.
Very interesting, as we're going to see what the call is. If this 46 does stay up here after that yellow, I should imagine he's going to get an EOL. Or a drive-through penalty. I'm not sure if that even pops up. I don't get that kind of information. A drive-through, I don't get that information. The only thing I can get on my end is black flag's cleared, a black flag, or a EOL penalty.
Definitely going to be interesting to see. Yeah,
So
this is
we'll find out when they go back green, because he's not allowed to serve that penalty until he makes one lap. So we'll see if he ducks in, the next time by after we go green here, Zach. And if anybody wants to know too, real quick, if you see the cars jerking a little bit, we got a little bit of lag going on in the game itself. So not on my end, but the game seems like it's acting a little wonky tonight.
always tough with some sim issues sometimes, but we're going to get it done. Here as they come to the restart zone. Matthew Shelby, yeah, black flag there for a drive-through, so he's going to restart with the lead, but he's going to have to do a drive-through, so this is going to be interesting. He's going to pit from the lead here, and look at this restart. We got some mixed names up here. You got Richard Wilson, Josh C. Anderson. A lot of these guys jumped it with track position here. Let's see what this track position does for a few.
We'll have to see, and now it's going to be very careful too, because like you said, you got Shelby. It's going to have to come down. Oh, and we got the 19 up in the air.
And Coulter Clark, his hood's up. He is destroyed, and we'll see if we stay green here. As we stay green for the time being, but there it is. Nope, yellow flag is out, and there's more wrecking.
Oh,
big incident.
Look out.
Oh, and that happened up near the front of the field because Richard Wolsifer is involved in it. I believe it's going to start around the 56.
I don't know where to go.
Yeah, the 56 actually is. Maybe we'll take a look at this caution bring out incident. We can maybe go back later and see what happened with this first one. Actually, this is the first one right here.
Yeah,
yes, this is the 19. Whoa. Oh, big time loose.
What in the world is... You're supposed to keep the car on the track, 19, Caden. Let's ride with Caden. Let's see. I'm not sure if he got ran over or he got loose. Nope. And boom, up into the air he goes. And then who landed on him? The 54?
Yeah, it was Coulter Clark who got destroyed there. I mean, it completely knocked his hood up and blocked his vision. So 54, just an innocent bystander here running outside. He's just thinking it's clear as day here. The 19's going to get loose and cross it. From there, look at that. Destroyed the front end.
Oh, that is, yeah, definitely. He put the hood right into the whole motor, unfortunately. And then we had another thing happen, which was what, with Richard, I do believe you said? Oh, right there.
Yeah, Richard Wolsifer. Yeah, Wolsifer, this is where the caution would actually later come out. And here we go. A little touch. I don't know if there's a little touch to the doors there on the entry, but 56 just loose there. And Kyle Heath, our stage winner, involved in some other big collisions. Jared Hughes, our pole setter, he's involved with it. This is tough for a lot of these guys, Robert. And you can see there, 56 big move to the inside, and I don't know if that was a touch there, maybe some net code, but the 56 there loose. And from here, drivers are trying to miss Heath into the back of the 56. There's Sutherland sliding. He's going to barely miss it. Look at Sutherland just drift by. Then Hughes going to just T-bone right into the door of the 56. And our pole setter, Jared Hughes, going to come out of this. I just thinking, why me?
And there goes the 54th. His hood flopping. My goodness. Oh, man. The first stage was great. Second stage is not turning out so well for everybody here.
Chaos is ensuing, Robert, as Ronnie Osmer jumping the stage there, rotating to the lead. Loving what he's seeing. Scott Fritz up the second now. Zachary King up the third.
Yeah.
Andrew Mattel up the fourth. And Josh C. Anderson, our top five, as Kyle Heath there, our stage one winner. His front end is hurt, Robert. That right front, very much damage and splitter damage too. So this 13 might be in trouble with that.
Well, if I was a 13, I would go in and get it fixed. Is what I would do. Just go in and get it fixed. I mean, you've already got your stage points in the beginning of the first stage. I would just go in if you can. I think pit road's closed now, or we still got another lap to go yet.
I believe we're going to be
we're going green
this time. The lights are off. Yeah, lights are off on the pace car, so we're going to be going green here. It is time to get them racked up and ready to go, because everybody needs to figure out how they're going to hold on for the rest of this stage. Lap 80 is where we're trying to get to. We'll see how we're going to do it, because Ronnie Osmer into the restart zone. Green flag is out, and he's going to lead the way down to the start-finish line. Is now Scott Fritz in the 48 machine. He's going to be looking to hold on to second, but Zachary King, he thought for a second maybe look to the inside of the 15, but he's going to think better of it and hold the second place position.
As he holds the second place position, we'll try to go in the back here, and now we'll see here. And this is where the guys are going to have to just calm down a little bit and get these tires warmed up as well. We'll see back here. Shelby still has not got his black flag cleared. Richard Wolfeser. Oh, and now we got another carnage. Oh, the 90's into the wall, into somebody, and we're all slowing down. No yellow right now, and it looks like no, we're clean and green yet.
Clean and green for the time being as everybody's scattered there off of turn 4, but it's going to be black flags for Richard Wolfeser and Matthew Shelby that are serving their drive throughs for causing an incident there. So we'll see how they're able to come back from that, but definitely a very, very strong penalty there, and you got to be on your P's and Q's out here to make sure you're not messing up anybody else's races or ruining the race for anybody else. So we'll see how this works out, but look at that. Andrew Rattel up to the top side there in the 4th position. He's going the fastest lap of the race.
Looking pretty good right now, as it looks like everybody got their black flag cleared. And yeah, Andrew Rattel here in the number 6 is looking on the high sky to Scott Fritz here, seeing if he can make the move around. As I see a puff of smoke. I'm not sure where that came from.
It's like a puff of smoke there. Sometimes appears off these walls. Sometimes they don't hit the wall. As everybody looks to race side by side here to the Kansas Speedway, is everybody right now getting a little strung out right now, as it has been wild to see here. But so far, great racing throughout majority of the field, but we're at lap 48 going to try to get to lap 80 of this stage, Robert, and it is looking to the point where we might be able to keep it green like we did for that long portion of stage 1 now.
Well, that's it. You know, once you get it a couple laps, like you said, on these tires, get everything warmed up, these guys do calm down, they get single file, and then they can start racing, and that's what we're seeing here right now. We're not seeing too much side by side as we go up here to Josh Anderson riding behind here. He's moving himself up through the field here, running in 5th position. Great run for him so far. Nicholas, after being involved into that little carnage earlier for himself, now he's worked his way back up to 9th position. We got Zachary Maddox here in the 14 having a good run. So, yeah, it looks like the field got all spread out, and now we're looking pretty good as we're on lap 50 of trying to get the lap 80 here for the stage so far, Zach. But looking pretty good right now as we see them all getting just single file.
Single filed out for majority of the field at the time being, but I think it's interesting, most interesting to me is just how valuable this track position can be. I mean, look at this. I mean, the 15, Ronnie Osmer got to the lead. Zachary King up here to second. Andrew Rattel, Scott Fritz, Josh Anderson. A lot of these drivers, I mean, you look at them, every single one of them started outside the top 10 here in this race and have found their way to the front using strategy. And it you know, just shows you that sometimes it's going to be an interesting race of just trying to find your way to the front and make the passes easy by making those passes on pit road, and sometimes make things that much easier as we ride back here and these drivers try to find different lanes and ways to get some clean air on the noses, but sometimes that driver ahead of you tries to take that air away.
Well, that's it. You're watching, like you said, right now here we're riding with Zachary Maddox, you know, we were talking about it at the beginning of the race, Zach, you know, different lines to try to get the clean air. Right now, I'm not seeing that too much out of drivers. Yeah, you can see the 22 there of Nicholas go high, and we see Zachary running low here, but really, there's not too many drivers trying different lines unless we go up to the front here, as we do got a lot of cars up here trying to figure out where they want to go.
Everybody trying to figure out what lane they want, and it is such a decision to be made when you get to that corner, and it's tough to change that decision when you get down there sometimes when you see the driver ahead of you take that line. So gotta be really conscious of what's going on. But some great racing here is right now the 6 Rattel up to second. He's got around all that. It's been Zachary King now Who's got Josh C. Anderson, Scott Fritz, Kyle Heath, and all these drivers stacked up here trying to find their way forward. So we'll see how this works. But the thing that's most interesting too is Ronnie Osmer out here. He might be the leader, Robert, but he doesn't necessarily have clean air. Richard Wilson with his penalty has come out right in front of him. And I'm going to tell you this, Richard's not going to want to just, roll over and give up this position here because he does not want to go a lap down.
Well, no, most definitely. If he can stay on the lead lap, that's what he's going to try to do. So, yeah, use that dirty air, to keep that 15 behind you as long as you can. And hopefully by the stage, you stay on that lead lap. That's what Richard is probably fighting. Now the question becomes, how hard is Richard fighting to stay on that lead lap, with the tires, Zach, as he's trying to work his way around, as it does look like Rodney, 15 there is faster than, it does look like he's faster than the 56 there.
He does look quicker. It's just he gets close here and then he just kind of stalls out. He can't find the air that he needs to find the run, and we'll see here, riding on board. Kind of cuts across the air of the 56 to try to find a little draft here down the Shirley. Has got a good run off of 4, so he does close that gap slightly down. And man, it is very, very close here between these guys as the battle rages on. And I tell you, I mean, it's so tough. You want, Wolsifer here is doing everything in his power to try to hold him back, but the 15, you want to get by and get that clean air. So kind of the dual-edged sword here between these guys.
Kind of, but you can also see that they're both running 2 separate lines, right? So as long as Richard, stays in front and runs that low line, and the 15 runs the high line, there's no harm, no foul, right? I mean, you're not in the dirty air until you do like what now the 15 just did, but he's pretty far back yet. I don't think the dirty air plays that much of a factor, the distance that they have between each other right now, because we are on lap 58 of, trying to get to stage number 2 here of 80. So laps are winding down.
Laps are definitely winding down for this stage here. Everybody's trying to find their way to get those stage points. They can be so valuable when things are so close like they were. So it is very, very important for these drivers. But right now, back here, Zachary King under threat. Scott Fritz got to the outside. He's going to be looking to get around. And the next car behind him, that's going to be a lap down car, Matthew Shelby, who also had that drive-through. So that's not for position, but definitely a factor right here in the mix of it.
Well, that's the thing, okay? For Richard up front here, if he wants to give it up, he can let, the 15 go, the leader go. He's not racing the leader to stay on the lead lap. He can get the lucky dog. He's racing that 46 of Matthew right now is what he's racing.
Definitely racing, he's actually rooting for Richard here a little bit, saying, Richard, stay on that lead lap.
Yeah.
Just hold him off. Let me be that first car lap down. And if we get to the stage, I'll be able to get back on that lead lap. So he's sitting in that car rooting for the 56. And then once the 56, if he does get passed by the 15 Osmer, which I will say Richard's starting to pull away from the 15 now a little bit even. If the factor of them does, they do catch or he does catch him and put him a lap down, then he'll be wanting to catch up to him. So it is one of those situations where you won't be rooting for him then.
Yeah, 1 minute you are my friend, next minute you're not, and that could go back and forth on the lap as Richard would pull front, then pull back, pull front, and you'd be like, make up your mind. I'm getting frustrated. Do I have to pass you or try to pass you? Things like that.
Definitely a huge situation that you always got to stay on top of if you want to get back on that lead lap position. But look at this. Joshua Parent, once again, showing out. He's done a great job. He's moved up from 32nd, didn't qualify. He's up to 11th and ran so well Bristol that, got that second place finish, almost that win, beating and banging to the line. This is going to be critical for this 90 here to see if he can get those points to claw his way back towards that cut line.
I think he's got to get up past Woods here to get some bonus points. But yeah, I mean, he's clawing his way back up through, and he's starting to show that. Look out, ladies and gentlemen. He is running, and he's going to try to, get himself moved up. I mean, he did a big jump in the point standings just from finishing second last week, Zach. So another great finish is really going to boost his mentality of knowing, hey, look, I got this, and I'm going to go for it. As you see a little puff of smoke again from somewhere. Not sure where that's coming from, but I do believe we need to keep an eye on this 90 for the rest of the season.
That's for sure. I think he's definitely one of note for sure. And right now he's trying to hold back the one of Braden Van Winderger. As looks like 13th, you got Cameron Gilmore, Evan Pateko up to 14th. 15th is Jared Hughes, and he's under threat here. Is Sam Dyer finding his way forward after starting on pit road. The 35 looking strong, and Hughes, I think that is very much struggling, still dealing with a little bit of slight damage on the nose from that race car. Is still slightly hurting that front end, and I think that is not helping him at all.
Yeah, most definitely. Probably didn't get it all fixed, and, you know, that hit, front end damage, you know, like you said, will not help this car, as Sam Dyer is looking pretty good. Our own freaky fast Sam Dyer, he's looking pretty good. As we go back here, it looks like we got Cole Lewis running back here in 19th, battling it with Dakota, running in 20th position, trying to work his way around that car. Oh, we got smoke. We got a car spun somewhere.
That we do. Caution is out on the speedway here. We'll have to see what it is for exactly.
Maybe Nicholas, it looks like, maybe? Shows me that he went off track.
It is Nicholas Renner, yeah.
Let's see what happens here. He's getting around Zach.
Oh, this is going to be a big moment here, Robert. This is going to be very, very interesting to watch. As you're going to see, he's running this top side. This is going to look similar to someone we've seen someone earlier get very loose off the top. Dakota Camper, who shot through the grass. And look, he's going to get loose, come across the nose of another driver, try to catch it down there, catches the grass, and is spun back 360 across the racetrack. And that's going to bring out the yellow flag. And oh man, luckily locks it down right there. Don't want to see him roll back across this track. But Renner going around for a second time tonight.
Yeah, and yeah, unfortunately, is that his second incident of the night?
I don't think.
I don't
know if that would be. The first one was not caused by him because that was declared caused by the 46 of Shelby. So I don't believe Renner has one technically. So if that is declared his, then hey, then he should be just a drive through. We'll see though.
Yeah, we'll see. As all right, well, one thing, one driver's happy. Richard stayed on the lead lap the hard way, and that's also going to put Shelby now back on the lead lap. That's going to make him happy. So we got two cars finally getting their way back around. As you can see, Shelby now just passing the pace car, heading around. He will be the lucky dog of the race. So with that being said, as we're getting ready to go to the stage, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We will be back within 1 minute. So stay tuned, and we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. everybody. As we're watching right now, we're back to iRacing. Zach, we're lap 71 of 165, and we're getting down and close to this the battle now up here in the front. Dusty Stallings worked his way back up through the field, and now we got everybody trying to see where they want to be to get to the stage.
This is what it's all about right now. It's coming down to the end of the stage. Drivers looking to find the track position. You can see it's been swapped up just a tiny bit because we've had strategy play out. Scott Fritz, first car to hit pit road. He's up the third. Dustin Stallings holding on to the lead. He hasn't pit. Neither has Brendan Maddox. Both of those still off the stage one pit stop. So we'll see if the track position here from those tires help them, or will the tires of Scott Fritz fly by. But right now, Zachary King under threat. Joshua Parent right now to his inside in the 90 machine. Everybody looking to move forward. The top 10 is where the points are paid, and that's where people want to be.
Now look at this too, ladies and gentlemen. The 56 of Richard for Richard there. Oh, as we had a car into the wall there, as we're getting, they're beating and banging side by side. But yeah, Richard right now, he was, just before that yellow came out, he was about ready to go a lap down, and now he's trying to get stage points.
That he is. And think about how much confidence that can build. You have the leader on your back tailpipes for the first couple laps, and you drive away from him to stay on the lead lap. That makes you probably feel pretty good about your chances and your odds moving forward. Richard Wilson fighting strong right now on the fresher tires. He's up to 8th, and now fighting already for a top 7 almost. As drivers getting a little bit wild there around the top 10 because they know this is where the points are paid.
Yeah, points are paid right here, and you got to give it to that 56. He's full sending it. He's like, I need the stage points. If I ain't going to win the race, I'm going to get as many points as I can, and he's going to use up the entire... Oh, we got a wreck going on in the back.
And they keep it straight, actually, so we're going to stay green, I believe, is huge.
Is that Evan?
Pole setter. The pole setter, Evan, I believe him and Evan Pateco got involved.
Oh, man.
I believe. Yes, sorry. Yeah, Evan in an 81 involved with Jared Hughes here, a pole setter. I mean, that is, again, just wrong place, wrong time for the 98 right here. Coming down the back straightaway, just lost it. Hughes tried to miss it, but he just gets put in the wall back into it. And I mean, Jared Hughes, after a clean first stage there, ran second and was just looking strong. Now, pretty much out of contention for this race was even more damage.
With bad luck hits, it looks like sometimes. As we're watching right now, we got that 15 hunting down that Dustin Stallings here for the lead. As we got blocking going on for the stage, and we still got a couple laps to go until we get to the end of the stage here. We're only on lap 77 to lap 80, Zach, and these guys are fighting like it's the last lap.
That they are. And remember, Osmer on new tires. These top two right now in the race, also top 2 in the point standings. The difference on tires, it's about 30 laps difference, but can the 15 find the grip around the inside? He wasn't able to do it. Here comes Scott Fritz. He's also on new tires. Stallings is going to hold the high line here. Can the 15 clear? I think he's going to be able to clear here off the exit, but the run from the high side should allow the 00 to hold on the second, but into the wall off of 4 is Stallings, and it's going to be just like that. Osmer to the lead.
Osmer to the lead, and now you got Scott Fritz saying, I want second place position over Stallings, as it looks like he might be able to clear him, and yes, he does. But now we got the battle going on back here with the 23, the 50. Where Richard is he going to get a top 5 out of this?
This is fantastic work from the 56. He did everything right. Held on to the lead's lap, and now he's fighting, but he's going to be involved in the incident. That might be in trouble for him, because that right there almost bringing out a yellow, but we stay green.
Oh, what luck. If you don't have, that is the S luck if you ask me, because that is wow. I don't know, but how did the 23 save it, as we're on the final lap right now here, as the 15 is going to come by and get this stage win here, Zach?
That he is. The 15 looking strong. Did everything right there. Played the strategy. Got the pit road and won stage number 2. That's 10 bonus points bagged for Ronnie.
Ronnie's going to take the stage win, as we got 85 laps left to go in tonight's event here. So Congratulations to Ronnie on getting this stage win. That's going to help him in the points. And then you got Dustin Stallings, though. He's our points leader. He's going to get third with stage points. So, yeah, it's getting very interesting here, Zach.
And it is. It's definitely getting pretty interesting with everything building up here and different strategies too. So let's see how much the tires matter. I mean, right here, will the 15 come back down for another set? That's the question that we're going to have to see, because if so, you're going to have the advantage for some of these other drivers later in the races. You can see, oh, they'll catch up to the pace car a little bit quick here, Robert, is hopefully no incidences. We did actually have an incident under that last pace lap, and it was definitely a tough incident.
That it was. I don't know if we have Rod. I don't know if he's in Discord or not, Zach. Talk to him or not.
Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Believe we do have them, actually. They're in Southern Excitement Racing, so I'll go ahead and we'll pull him down here to our waiting room and have a chat. Or actually, let's let him get pit road for Robert. And once we get off pit road, we'll get him.
Let's mess him up.
No.
Sorry.
As a driver,
I'm just joking.
That's a no from Zach.
I just had
Don't
to
do that to Zach Hall.
I did. Well, yeah, we already know you don't know how to make pit stops. You go right through them all the time. Well, you know the truth.
This is a broadcast, not a roast session, folks. Let's get back to the subject. Is the driver's
man.
road. And we'll talk to our stage winner after this, as he's going to exit pit road here. We'll see how it all shakes for him. Looks like he will exit again with that lead position, but we'll get to talk to our stage number 2 winner here of Ronnie Osmer. Let's hear from the 15 up here in the booth. Hey, Ronnie and Zach and Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, what an excellent stage, man. You got the victory there. You played a little bit of different strategy, elected to come down, get the tires, and had to get that win from the 0-0 late. How did that feel to get those 10 bonus points?
It felt pretty good with such a tight battle with Dustin in the points. I need every point I can get on him, and definitely a stage victory helps there. And it was just a fun battle overall, knowing that there's, even with a tire difference, we can still have good battles.
Definitely been a fun race so far with the different strategies, and really the track position seeming to be very, very valuable. Ever since you flipped the stage there, how's it been being out in that clean air?
It's definitely clean air is king, like real life right now, and just every car is just so tight, even in clean air, that track positions everything in this race. And if you have enough of a tire advantage, it can help. And right now, it's all about staying up front.
Definitely is going to be critical here, Ronnie. Well, congrats, like we said, on winning the stage here for stage number 2. Good luck for the rest of the race, and we'll send you back up to your team.
All right, thank you.
All right, there you heard it, Robert. That was our stage 2 winner there, Ronnie Osper. He seemed pretty cool, calm, and collected to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he knows what he needs to do. He figured it out. He flipped the stage, like you said. Now he's going to try to, run these last 80 laps, or, what we have left in tonight's race here in clean air. I mean, he said it in real life. Clean air is the king, and, well, iRacing mimics the real life. So guess what? Clean air is the king, and we'll see right now, because we got Scott Fritz and that number 6 going to be looking to try to get that clean air here on the restart, as we're going to get ready to go back green flag racing here, ladies and gentlemen, as we are freaky fast, freaky green. Let's boogity, boogity, boogity.
Here we go down to turn number 1. Andrew Rattel in the 6 machine. Scott Fritz in 48. We'll see what he can do here. But it's Ronnie Osmer, the guy we just talked to, who went in that stage. He's able to slide up in the second. He knows how valuable the clean air was. He talked to us just about it that second. We'll see how strong he fights for. Rattel now in control of this race. Let's see what the 6 has.
See what the 6 has, as we're still watching in the back here. We're watching Renner back here in that 22 having a great run. All considering everything that guy's been in, he's still out here running in the top 5, Zach. And what a great run for that 22 machine right now, with Whiplash Whiplash Shin Cams, which is our provider here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting on all the camera angles that you see. So make sure you go check out Whiplash Shin Cams over on Facebook and get all your awesome camera needs for iRacing from Whiplash Shin Cam.
Definitely, I always love to show the shots here, but it's getting very freaky fast right now as the leaders on top of one another. Also, the top three, though, Scott Fritz fighting back to 00, our points leader of Dustin Stallings. But you also got Nicholas Renner ripping the top, who carrying a bunch of speed. Renner is able to find his way up into the top 5. And look, here comes Richard Wolfsfer after getting a really good finish there late in that stage after almost going a lap down early.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where did that 56 come from? And we'll see if he can keep the momentum going, because he's looking good right now with a lot of speed. As like you said, you can see Renner running that high side, trying to figure out what he needs to do up here high, and he's looking good as he's going to go down the backstretch and try to catch the sniff of the draft of that number 2. Oh, he gets into the wall a little bit. You don't want to keep doing that, unfortunately.
Definitely don't want to get into that wall too often. You'll have that damaged bull up, and you already see that right front fender was definitely not flared out correctly on that right side. So 22 might feel the effects of that damage here as this run goes on, but track position so valuable. These drivers just not willing to give it up. As look at him, he's going to rip the outside here. He's going to find a way around the outside of the 00 here. Dustin Stallings, Rainer going to work his way up into the top 5, and we'll see here, because at loose condition there, you see how he turned down the racetrack. That scares me, because we've seen a similar condition where he had an incident there earlier involved in a wreck by getting loose going down the track.
Yeah, and that, I mean, he's got the speed up there and you're carrying the momentum, but again, how long do these tires like this? You know, you keep doing that, eventually, you know, more speed, faster you go. As we all know, talking about it, you know, yeah, you can run fast up there, but will the tires last up there is going to be the question.
We'll have to see if those tires do last. Yeah, it's got to take some life out of them, especially just running these laps, especially with some of these guys just seeming willing not to lean on them just as much as the 22 is willing to right now. So we'll see if that comes back to hurt him. But right now, 91 laps into the 165. These laps are starting to click away, Robert, and we'll soon be nearing a final pit stop in this race. If we go green for this, it'll be a one stop from the end here, and you'll definitely have to think about what you want to do. But back here further, Isaiah Sutherland trying to find his way back forward in the 24. He was up front near the beginning of this race, but kind of strategy is mired him back in the field here and kind of got mired back a little bit.
Yeah, and he's the one that almost won the practice race. So I know he's got the speed, but he's back here. He's down 9 positions of the starting position right now, running in 13th position. But if they stay green here, which is starting to look pretty good, when do you think these guys are going to be looking at making a pit stop? How far do you take these tires?
That is a good question, Robert. This track, especially, how much is the wear going to be a factor? I mean, is it it's one of the more smooth tracks, but it's also very high speed and is known to kind of wear the tires out. So I'm interested to see, it might be an early stop, but I think a lot of these drivers are probably going to look to stay out for as long as they possibly can just to keep that track position hope up. You can see here, early stage 1 winner, Kyle Heath, he's trying to find his way back into it. He had that major damage from that incident earlier, and I think he's trying to find his way back into the mix. He's going to fight here around the 52 of Cole Lewis. He's going to find a way to get into the top 5, and took a closer look at his car, and it does seem like the damage has gotten fixed in the right front. So he's back, in position, but we'll see how much the track position really hurts this 13, who at one point looked to be the dominant car.
Yeah, he looked like to be the dominant car. As look there, he just scraped the wall, and that's again. I'm telling you, these guys are they keep scraping this wall, Zach, and it keeps making me worried because it's turn 4 where they're hitting this wall, basically trying to carry their momentum out. As we got a yellow, forget about not having a yellow, as we got looks like the number 1 maybe around.
Yeah, Braden goes around here, and I think we're going to see him lose it off of turn number 2. And actually, we might get our first rear arrow grief of the night, Robert. I don't think this is contact, but this is a good example right here. Look at this. 24 gets close. Look at this. Boom. It wrecks. That is a prime example of what we call with this new rear arrow grief. This is something you're going to see more of. I don't even think Sutherland touched him there before the first. I mean, he touched him as he came back up the track, but right here, we'll get a closer look. We'll see. Look, I don't think he ever touches. It's just going to get very, very close. No touch.
Oh, wow.
No touch. And then right here, look, watch this car. It is already wrecking loose. You can see the wheels turning right. Wheels turning right more. It hooks up and grips, and it's going to turn right back in front of Sutherland. And boom, it is going to just cause a major incident. And that is a prime example. If anybody wants a good example, they need to clip that, send that in, because that is rear arrow right there being a huge factor. If you didn't think it was real, it's true.
It's real now as I see everybody scattering, and wow. Yeah, and unfortunately, the one got a meatball flag out of that one too. Damage. His race is done for the night. You got Isaiah Sutherland with a lot of front end damage, so that's going to hurt him the rest of the race. Wow. Well, now we know what not to do. Sutherland just showed us what not to do. So I don't know, Zach, you said clip it. I don't know if you want to clip it, because then people are going to might try to do it. Study that clip.
Yeah,
man.
It's definitely something that's interesting. It is something that we've always longed for in iRacing, is that ability to get right up behind someone and affect their, how their car drives. But I think this is something that you'll probably see tweaked. I don't know the ins and outs of what iRacing will decide to do.
Right.
But I do think that is, unfortunately, I would like to say, a little unrealistic. These cars with the downforce being made on the floor of the cars and not that spoiler, driving up behind someone is not really going to ever cause you to get loose. And more than anything, it actually would cause you to get tight. It would pack the air and kind of push you forward at the super speedways we almost see. And that's You can almost see a few examples, like some of the Michigan racing. We just see some of that great racing they had there. If you could get close to someone, you could kind of really just push them off into the corner and get them a little air, tight by doing that. But it really seems like in iRacing, it's almost the exact opposite. You get right up behind them, and it almost seems like it's stalling that diffuser and causing a complete, you go from max downforce of, adhesion to the track to zero, and it is immediate. I mean, it happens so quick. So I do think that's something we'll see tweaked here. I don't think iRacing is probably intended that. It's just something that, changing physics, changing tire models, changing aero around. There's sometimes things you can't test, and in the testing of this, maybe no one ever got that close to each other to really say, whoa, this wrecks you. So
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, it could be something that sticks around forever, and if it is something that sticks around, that is something you're going to have to think about using. And we'll see. Look, Isaiah Sutherland, he's getting the black flag for it, and he didn't even touch him. But again, it is because he got close to him and put the air on him. So that's going to be the things now. This is the new era of next gen racing here in iRacing, and it's something we're going to have to see how it unfolds. But right now, it is definitely a factor.
That kind of scares me, be honest with you. I don't like it, but that's just me.
It is definitely something I think we'll see changed, hopefully, over the future. But right now, Rattel controls this, and he's off into turn one, in control of this race, and now looking to keep that clean air. We've seen the clean air so far be very, very valuable. And right now, the 6 is in control of it. But it's about 2 wide, about 7th place on back. And I tell you what, a lot of these guys have moved forward and found some positions. But it's going to be 3 wide, about 3 rows deep here, as the 90 a little loose there on the outside.
Yeah, 90 got loose. He's going to hold on to it. Now we got Maxon. Who is that? We got the 33 back here going 3 wide with, I'm not sure exactly who's in the middle there. Is that the 23?
Brendan Maddox, right in the middle there. Oh, getting very close to him in the 33 there. It's going to be wild action. The stage 1 winner, the stage, and I believe the 2nd place finisher in the stage there of, Brendan Maddox. So this is definitely very close times. It just shows you could be at one point battling for the win, battling for a stage, and now you're back here battling for a top 10.
Yeah, as we're watching now, Kyle Heath, he's just getting way up the track saying, I don't know about this, guys, as they're starting to get their wits together here. As we see Zachary King now, he's going to try to fall in line here. But, yeah, I mean, this is just crazy racing that we got going on here. And, you know, people that come out and watch us and see what it is, you know, people call it a game, some people call it a sim, you know, but you're racing this sim. We don't know what these guys are going through behind the scenes of racing these, you know, these vehicles. You know, you got different steering wheels, you got different, you know, setups, you know, that these guys race behind, and some of these guys are probably hanging on to their dear life, you know, trying to keep the car just not to swerve back and forth like we've seen here. So good job for these drivers here too. As a driver, and you as a driver, Zach, we know behind the scenes what all goes through this too.
Definitely is a huge factor for sure. These guys are doing a great job here tonight. This has been a fantastic race, and I think a fantastic bounce back from Bristol. You know, this has been very much a great race. There's some sliding action up here forward. That's around the third position. I think Scott Fritz involved. That's the 48 sliding. He's going to save it, but he's going to spin it back up the track into the grass. We're going to stay green for the time being.
Wow. As yeah, Scott Fritz, unfortunately, we'll see the replay here. Scott, he's going to get loose coming out of 4, it looks like here. And I wonder if somebody packed air like he should. Yeah, right there it is. Oh, no.
Oh, that's some contact even.
Oh, yeah. The 56. That's twice now he got lucky that there wasn't no yellow.
And that one would have been interesting to see how they called it, because you kind of got to give some benefit of doubt here to Richard, because it seems like the 48 kind of had the 50 side. That's such a close incident. Those two are racing so hard. That's the one we say we leave that one up to the admin, Robert, because that is where they get to decide the calls on that stuff. So it is tough, but yeah, Fritz there involved with that now. He's going to be catching back up to this field, and it's right here alongside with Richard. So
yeah, I was just trying to say, Richard probably said, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, we'll see how these two race each other now, with Fritz, you know, a lap down, and Richard here trying to work around the outside. Oh, I think Richard got into the wall.
Yeah, that's what I said. It looks like Richard got into the wall, but he's going to make the pass, so that's a good thing. And I'm not sure where, I'm not seeing Richard on my board. He's out there.
He's in 4th right now. 4th place, actually, still.
Oh, we're live. What? Okay. How's... I'm confused, but okay. How's the 20, so the 21's in, I mean, the 48's in 21st position, but Richard's in 4th.
Yeah, the 48 spun.
Is he a lap down?
Yeah, the 48 is a lap down, yeah.
Oh, that's where I got confused. Okay, never mind. I was like, how's he running 21st when he's 4th? But okay, I got it now. Got confused there.
Hey, sometimes the scoring can be a little confusing there for sure, and things can happen fast. Right now, quickly, Andrew Mattel out front still leading. Ronnie Austin kind of disappeared as Renner's holding on to 3rd. Wilson, the 4th, Stallman's back here in 5th. Now, Christian Barnes looking right at the top, and look at Kyle Heath. He's making a resurgence. He's found his way into the top 10. As right now, Cameron Gilmore in 8th, too.
Yeah, Cameron Gilmore is having a great run. Haven't talked about him much, and also that 33 was in 2x2 there and was 3x3 there for a while. In that 33 of Braxton Skinner here, he's having a good run, running up in P10. Not bad run for him here tonight. Also, you know, Zachary King, like we said, wasn't here last week, but he's looking good, running up here in P7 now. I don't know how much lap time he had, but he's looking good. As he's gonna go down and try to do a little block on Cameron there.
Definitely looking to do anything they can to make passes here. King trying to hold that middle groove there as Gilmore gonna hold there, but look at this, around the top. Kyle, he says, thank you two very much. Your battle goes on. I'm gonna go around the outside, but here's King. He's gonna throw it down to the bottom side. Can he get back clear of the 13? But I don't think he will, as he going to find the grip off the top side, and Kyle Heath going to find his way back into the top 7 and try to find his way back towards that front side of the field, because that 13 at one point, like I said, he was looking very, very strong out front.
Yeah, I mean, we know he has the pace. We know he has the car. The question is, you know, get up here. But, as Zachary King's going to slide up and get into the 13, we don't want to do that.
Definitely don't want to get into each other right here, right now. This is some great racing. We want to see this stay clean and green, and maybe see us get to a green flag pit stop here, possibly at some point either in this run. We'll see right now. These drivers have gone about 29 laps here, or sorry, actually 15 laps since the start of the stage. So this is or since the last time they pit there. So this is gonna be interesting.
Well, we do have the top guys up here. The top 3 actually pitted on. Okay, top 4. Looks like the top 4 pitted on lap 29, Zach, and then you got back here at Dustin Stallings pitted on lap 16. And then you got all the way back through here to Kyle Heath, like you said. They pitted on lap 30, so we have some that pitted on lap 16, and then some on lap 30. So we have different strategies going on tires here right now too. So we'll have to see what these guys decide to do.
Heath up into the wall. He loses that position back to Zachary King. So Heath there, we thought for a moment was going to be able to get around Zachary King and maybe find his way back towards that front half, but got into that wall, and that's allowed the 51 back around him here. And up ahead of them, Nicholas Renner up in the wall on the outside, and they're actually, he's sliding back. He was just third at one moment, so tires seem to be fading away. Dustin Stallings going forward also on his fresher tires.
Interesting to see. These tires are falling off on lap 31 of this run here, and man, 1, 2, 3 cars into the wall. I'm telling you, turn 4, I would hate to be the guy that has to paint the walls later, because you'll be living in turn 4.
It definitely it's like dominoes. It just happens one after another, it seems, as the run goes on. As you can see off the exit too, everybody fighting for space, fighting for grip down these back straightaways. But right now, Renner trying to fight back at the 48, who, again, Scott Fritz here is a lap down, but he's trying to just hold position and stay that first car lap down. If we get a yellow flag, Fritz can't get back on that lead lap.
Well, we'll see how that all plays out here tonight. See if he can stay and get back on the lead lap here tonight. As let's see here, we'll bring up also, Zach, let's bring up the race report here for everybody and see what we're doing here. Only 6 cautions here tonight for 16 laps, and we had 7 lead changes so far at the start finish line, and we've been green flagged for 100 laps. So what a turnaround! Like you said, you go from Bristol to a 1.5-mile track, and has things ever changed for everybody out here?
Definitely has, and one of those cautions even a stage break caution. So
correct,
definitely only 5 yellows for incident, and that's very, very, I think, very happy, I think, for a lot of these guys out here to keep it at this moment. As you see our top 5 at the moment, Andrew Rattel leading the way, Ronnie Osmer in second. Those two have broke away, and Osmer able to stay right pretty much with the 6. But it's a battle for those top 5 that's really happening, as Heath somehow now has caught up to Renner, got around him. So Heath at one moment was battling with Zachary King, trying to find a way around him, and I was worried he wasn't going to find his way forward. But Heath now, he's into almost the top 5 as he's catching up to Christian Barnes here quickly.
Very interesting now, as we see here. And again, they're going about lap number 40 now here, Zach. So the question is how long do these guys stay out? And I have to give a big shout out to that 6 car right now. What a great run this guy is having here tonight. It's good to see him up here in the front, and great sponsor he has going on right now with Dairy Queen, with everybody on the East Coast dying in the heat. I'm sure ice cream right now would be really good.
Free ice cream for everybody if Andrew Rattel wins here tonight. That's what I heard from Dairy Queen.
What?
We wish.
Now you put them in the wall. Great.
He heard about the
yellow.
ice cream, and oh no, he gives up the lead. He
Ah.
knew he's Dairy Queen told him to give it up.
What's that? Come on, man.
They said we can't afford the free ice cream, Zach.
I don't care. So yeah. Anyways, how's everybody out there enjoying tonight's event? I do apologize again for the little stuttering going on. It will be fixed for next week. That I already know what's going on. I just can't reboot the system right now to fix it.
And rebooting the system would take some time, like you said, so we can't do that. But we'll definitely get that fixed up for the next viewing shows. So we'll see how that all works out. But man, been excellent to watch so far. But Osimir, he's got the lead. He's starting to drive away. And now Rattel, he's falling back into the clutches because Richard Wolsifer, he's only 6/10 back from this lead. He was one time pulling away from the 15, remember, at the lead. Can Richard Wolsifer find his second win of the season? This would be, I mean, quite the way to do it.
Well, he can. All I can say is if he can quite a way to do it, he was almost a lap down. He got, ran into two guys. Not saying it's his fault, but count his lucky stars is what I'm going to say. He's got. Oh man, he's got to keep it out of the wall though. What is it? He's got to count his lucky stars. But now to go back to these guys hitting this wall, Zach. Like. What, why? Why do they keep hitting the wall? I would imagine you'd learn not to hit it.
I think a lot of times, too, sometimes they will actually not hit it, and our replay is just going to throw up a scuff, looking like they hit it. But sometimes a lot of...
Okay,
60% of the time they are hitting. I'd say 40% of the time they're not hitting it when you see it. But it really is just the fact that off of 4, it's just a much tighter exit of the racetrack. It really seems to tighten up very quickly off the exit of 4, and you got to use all the racetrack. And also with this arrow stuff, you slide up on the exit, you find everybody kind of runs in the same spot off the exit of the corner. They're right up against the wall. So guess where their dirty air is going to be the worst? Right there on that late exit of corner. So it really, I think, comes up where the guys are driving it, and all of a sudden I lose the front end. It's just into the wall quickly. And they're lucky. These things are very strong, and these cars can take that beating. But again, at some point, if you get too much of it and you step over that line, it will cause damage that is really irreversible.
Most definitely. As we're watching Richard right now go around, shifting from 4th to 5th gear, and then he chops it back down to 4th. So we know he's not saving any fuel right now. So, I mean, as you can see, that time he did get the wall.
Big hit. And that one was a big collision with the wall, and that one actually hurts the car a little bit. He's got a slight big scuff on the side of that car and on that right front fender. So he does that another time. It's definitely going to be a major damage to that car, but definitely a slight loss of speed too for him, as Stallings is going to be trying to catch up. But right now, really our top 5, other than Kyle Heath, everybody's so similar times. Heath right now, fastest car on the racetrack when it comes to that, though.
That's interesting as we're watching back here right now. These guys are just battling it back here for 18th, 19th, actually, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th position. These guys are all on top of each other as we got Sam Dyer now trying to look to get into the top 10 as he's going to try to get around Zachary King. And what a great run from the 35 so far.
And it's really been a good job by Sam, though, just slowly, methodically find his way forward. And it's kind of been his MO this season, is just stay out of the trouble early, get those good finishes late. It is making things tough for him, though, when it comes to those points. No stage points for Sam and no bonus points has hurt his, standing. So if you just looked at his overall finish, you'd be like, wow, his average finish is really, really strong and consistent. But it just hasn't been quick to make points due to the stage points lack. But I love the strategy and the play calls he's been making. It's definitely kept him in the chance to fight for that playoffs.
Well, I think he's gonna make the playoffs. I honestly do, because you got Adam. Depending on how long Adam stays out, and Stephen Borbell stay out. Do they? Oh man, Sam just got that dirty air and hit the wall. But the question is how long do the two drivers, stay out and do the admin stuff? You know what I mean? And You know, because they could go down to one admin and say, okay, I got this, go out and race. We don't know what their game plan is, if they're going to sit out the rest of the season or not, but I see Sam, you know, working his way up through getting into the playoff. I'm going to bet that he makes it into the playoffs this year.
We'll have to see if he's able to pull that off. Right now, a little bit of trouble.
He's struggling.
Dropping back right on the outside line. And drivers are trying to find their way around. And I think just got that little tight and got into the wall. And that might have spooked him a little bit to say, I got to back it down just that little bit more.
As we'll see now, he's got Walker right behind him right now. Walker, we haven't talked much about him. We did a little bit. Oh, that's Sam, and who is that? Johnny. Is that Johnny? No, that's John. Who is that beside him there?
Well, that's 07. Yeah, 07 Josh Anderson. He's 6 laps down right now. So that's not for position, but the 18 is. So Gray Walker going to go around for 14th. Sam's going to slide back here to 15th. Then it'll be the 52 of Cole Lewis. Here's Brandville. He's actually 4 laps down back here in 24th. So some of these cars passing not for position, so still top 15 for that 35. But you can see things are definitely shifting. So
well, we have one driver going into pit road here, Dakota in the 25. He's making a pit stop on lap 132. He's overshot his stall a little bit. Looks like he's going to take 4 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel, as he's going to get ready to head back out with the Beach Boys Pet Sounds machine. Interesting. The Beach Boys Pet Sounds. I never heard of that.
Yeah, cool car though. There, definitely interesting as he pulls it back off a pit road. And I tell you what, though, we got a little gaggle forming here from 4th to 5th. As Wolfsfer right now, he's got a second back to this group here. Stallings, he's going to pit, but this is almost disaster. I don't know if Fritz didn't get the call, but he almost ran right in the back of Heath. Is now Stallings and Heath both on the pit road here this time.
Yeah, and then we can also see Stallings, like you said, Stallings. It looks like Richard is also making a pit stop. So it looks like these guys are going to run about 30 laps, Zach, is what they're looking at. 30 laps to go here.
Is what it's looking to be, is drivers hitting their pit boxes, stalling into his stall. Heath now into his pit stall. We'll see when does the leader, Ronnie Osmer, flinch. He comes down now this time. So Osmer to pit road. Same for Rattel in the 6th. So the top 2 come down. Christian Barnes stays out for more laps. Same for Brendan Maddox. Joshua Parent also going to stay out on the racetrack.
As we'll see what these guys do here. As it's going to come down, probably, take their 4 tires. Everybody's going to take 4 tires, and this is going to be the money stop here too. So you want to make sure you don't get a black flag for speeding, entering, or exiting. As you can see, the 6 now taking off. Here goes the 15, Rodney. Man, why'd I call him Rodney? I always call him Rodney.
Well, Ronnie, not Rodney.
Ronnie
is coming off the pit road.
Ronnie. I gotta say Ronnie.
You heard it here first, folks. Ronnie. From Robert as he pulls off a pit road is the 14, I believe. I believe this is the 14.
Yes, this is Zach.
Zach Maddox here in the end. Looks like he's still yet to pay. He's got some cars, new tires there. Ritter going around the outside. You can see fresh tires much quicker.
Oh, most definitely. As I do believe, we'll see this. He's moved himself up to 8th position. He should be making a pit stop in the next, I would imagine, the next couple laps, because right now we got Christian up here in the 27, still out here on lap 40 of his stint. I do believe he should probably come down pit road very shortly here. Not sure how long these guys are going to plan on staying out though, Zach. That's going to be the question here, as it looks like right now the top 11 have not made a pit stop yet.
That is, top 11 still yet to make a pit stop. So right now, leading the way would be Richard Wolsifer, I believe, when it comes to the drivers who have pitted. So Wolsifer somehow has dropped Osmer. So Ronnie Osmer is got to go around and catch this 56.
Well, we say it's a money stop, but yeah, the 56 of Richard there had a better pit stop with a better pit lane. Richard went down pit lane at a 38.2 with a 11.4 pit. Did he take 2 tires?
I believe it's still 4. I mean, that's a quick stop though for a pit stop. I mean, we've seen some other. Yeah,
He had to
he
take
may
2
have took 2.
tires.
He may have took 2, yeah, and took the fuel
Yeah,
necessary.
because he was in pit box for 11.4 to Rodney, the 15, 14.4. So that's where the difference is right there.
Very, very interesting. We'll see how
2
the
tires.
2-tire calls
Huh.
go for the 56 of Walsford. But I will say he is quickly getting caught by Oshmer, who is right now in that 15 all over the back of the 56, and he's going to be looking to the outside here. This would be what would be the leader when it's all cycled through. And look at this, the 15 to the inside. Osmer wants this lead.
Oh, he's going to take the lead out of 2 tires, and then he's going to get boxed in. Richard's going to get boxed in by the 18 by accident. And yeah, I don't think 2 tires was the call actually here, Zach. We'll see once these tires do get completely warmed up, but I don't think 2 tires was the call.
And we'll see how it works out. I mean, it got him some track position there for the time being. If it would have gave him a bigger lead, if he would have got a 4 or 5 seconds lead as he gets into that wall there off the exit 2,
Yeah,
I think it would have been worth it, but I just don't know if it's going to work out now because the lap time does seem to be just not there from the takeoff. Like, just look at it overall. He's only been able to run about 3/10 off his fastest laps that he was able to run earlier. And usually 2 tires has been the go-to when it comes to, some of these late race cautions, which could help if, a caution to bring the tires down the temperature. But under pacing or under these, pit road conditions, they're not going to cool down much.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, never mind. That is all out the window. It looks like we have a car exiting pit road, maybe?
Believe so there, Robert, as that's going to be Scott Fritz. Yeah, he was exiting pit road. This is going to be unfortunate through the sequence. And right now, I can tell you what, there is some people that are caught out by this right here.
Yeah.
So many were a lap down, and yeah, this is going to change the whole complex of race.
That thing just went around.
Just completely lost it there, and you're going to see these cars go by, and nothing parked right there is going to bring that yellow out. Christian Barnes, Brendan Maddox, Gray Walker, Braxton Skinner, Zachary King, Dakota Camper, Johnny Walker Jr., Zachary King, the top 5, all on the lead lap here. That is excellent. And with Camper being a lap down, Johnny Wood being a lap down, our previous stage winner and the guy who would have cycled to the lead, the 15, Ronnie, he is going to be having to take the wave. He will not be able to get a lucky dog.
Interesting. So, yeah, this shuffles the whole lineup, Zach. I mean, oh boy. Yeah. Flip the tails of a quarter now, man, because now you got all these guys coming into pit road, and you got cars that are a lap down that, made that earlier pit stop. So, like Richard, he's going to have to get the wave around. Not the wave around. Yeah, he's going to have to go just the wave around. So, yeah, this is not looking good on tire-wise either.
Definitely a concern for a lot of these drivers, Robert, for sure. This happening in that sequence is the worst-case scenario, and this is not going to be a very long run. A lot of these drivers are going to have to take the wave. They're going to be on old tires. They're going to have to restart behind. They're going to have to hope for almost a quick yellow if they want an opportunity, because other than the drivers that are on the lead lap, it is going to be pretty tough to come back from this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they're going to have to. A lot of these guys are hoping to see another yellow. Is what they're going to need. But again, the question is did they use their last set of tires? Is the other question. Do they even have a set to put on?
And that is huge. I mean, yeah, that's the question. We'll have to see. I mean, you look at Christian Barnes here has been given the lead. This 27 looks like he may be in position to win his first race this season. His best finish so far has been 8th at Daytona to start the season off, and 9th Iowa, and he's actually pretty decent in the points when you look at them. He's 8th in the points, and I think a lot of that comes down to him having one of the higher bonus point totals, so he has been getting stage points, maybe not getting those finishes to go along with it. And he's led some laps too. I mean, look at Legacy Texas, he led some laps, at that track. So it very much, I tell you, it could be one of the situations where this 27 could be looking at his first win. But don't look too far. Brendan Maddox, he was second in that stage. Gray Walker, somehow he's found his way up here. Zachary King, what a story that would be if he's able to get up here and get right into the mix. Braxton Skinner, he's in 5th. And then from there on back, everybody else, I believe Dakota Camper, he's going to be getting the lucky dog. But Ronnie Osmer, he is going to be in 7th with older tires. Same for Richard Wolfsford, Evan Paneco, Andrew Attell, Dustin Stallings. So all those drivers are going to be on old tires here, catching up to this pack. This is going to be interesting. Buckle down, everybody. You got 20 laps to go. It's going to be 19 when we go to green here. If you're Christian Barnes, you want this thing to go clean and green. If you're some of the others in the back, you're wanting some yellows to help you out. But we'll see how it all shakes out. And, they're going to extend the yellow here.
Yeah.
So, I was about to say that was interesting. And the pace car off pit road, this is an awkward situation, but we'll see the pace car come back around. So we'll get it racked up, and everybody will be lined up and ready to go.
Well, Evan's going to look pretty good too, though. He might be back in 8th position, but he's only got 4 laps on his tires. So, So he's looking good. So you got the 1556 both on 13 lap tires, 12 lap tires, and then you go back to Andrew Dustin Stallings. You got Kyle Heath, Nicholas Renner, all them guys all the way back through there, all the way down to like the Dakota in 15th. And Cameron Gilmore, they got 15, 14, 13 laps, on their tires. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting, Zach. Boy, hang on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be 18 laps to go once they get this all, cycle through. And also the choose rule. Something we didn't talk much about tonight, Zach. look at the line. Everybody, there's no cars on the top set 2, and everybody else is on the bottom.
Well, and that is mostly too. The rest of the field got waved around, so you have to start on the bottom there with that wave. So
but still, it looks odd.
Yeah, it definitely looks odd. It just shows you how many wave around cars and how many little cars we have on the lead lap with that sequence. But pace car is in, and we're ready to go. Green flag is out, and here we go. Christian Barnes restarts with the lead, but it is the 51 on the outside of Zachary King who's going to have the better start. He's a nose ahead. Can the 51 of King get to the lead here and control this race?
Well, we're going to find out. Zachary King does not have a win yet. Christian Barnes does not have a win yet this season. We'll see if these two guys are going to get their first win of the season, or if we have somebody else. We also got Brandon Maddox there in the 23. He does not have a win. So it looks like we might have a first-time winner unless Johnny there in that 75 can work his way up through the field.
Have to see, and Woods Jr. is actually back now, 1 lap down in 20, so he's not going to be up in the mix. So I'll to see the 15 of Ronnie Osmer can get back up there, but he's going to be on older tires, and actually he's up in the wall, so he's losing spots. But right now, Christian Barnes leading the way. Brendan Maddox up the 2nd, Zachary King in 3rd, Braxton Skinner up the 4th, and Gray Walker holding on to a top 5 as it is wild stuff. And you're going to see that 75. He is in the mix right there, but he is 1 lap down. So he got back to 1 lap down because he was 2 laps down previously.
Gotcha. So, yeah, he's hoping for a yellow, and maybe he can get out of this. Christian Barnes right now is going to put down the fastest lap at a 29.7 here as we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. And I'm going to bring up, I just want to see what it is, Zach. Track temperature has dropped down to 83 degrees, and it is almost 7:20 at night here in Sim. So track has cooled off, and the lap times have picked up.
That they have. Times are picking up. Lap times, fastest laps are being put down. As right now, Barnes still controlling this race. Brendan Maddox there in a very strong 2nd position. Zachary King loving life there in the 3rd position, getting a little dirty air off that 75 of Johnny Wood Jr. as he goes by, but it's going to allow that 33 to get an opportunity. But we look back here, it's the 6th position. This is the old tire fight right here. Yeah. Everybody right here is on older tires. Zachary Brandvold, though, in that 55 machine right there in the mix, he is 4 laps down, so he is not for position. But Ronnie Osmer, he really wants there to be a caution because it really would allow him to get right back into it.
We'll get back into it, but the question is does he have a set of tires? We don't know. He might have used his last set, Zach, and well, if that's the case,
Yep.
he's not gonna. It's not gonna. He doesn't want to see a
It don't
yellow.
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he'd rather keep it green and just hold the position where he's at. Now, if he has a set, yeah. But again, then you got, the 20th position of Wood up there running. Does he have a set if he can get back in the lead lap? So we still don't know. I wish that's something that we would figure out. But right now, you got Brandon and Maddox right here in that 23 trying to get his first win, or even, these top 3 guys, top 4 guys, actually top 5 guys, what a huge difference. These guys, for the season, this is going to be their best finishing, all season for these top 5 guys.
That is for sure. This is excellent positioning for them right now. They're looking for the laps to click away, and it is only 12 laps to go. Will we see another yellow? Will this stay green? That's going to be the huge question on every single driver's mind, but more importantly, the 27 of Christian Barnes' mind, as he right now focuses on trying to put the best laps he can possibly put together. Brendan Maddox here looks to find the grip and the ability to find the run off the outside, though, down that front straightaway. That was a big run he got right there on that 27 to gain the speed down the straight. Let's see what it's going to do down the back straightaways. He's going to run the high side one more time. As you see, the ground he gives up, but the ground he gains on down the back straightaway is immense. So we'll see if he can continue to close it down, or will Barnes solidify here, because the last few laps, Barnes has been quicker just running the bottom.
Yeah, he's been quicker running the bottom, and he's going to use that. We talked about it. We've seen it earlier in the race. This is the time when you're going to use that dirty air, right, Zach? I mean, now you're going to use it for your benefit. You throw all the dirty air, you run the line wherever that 23 goes, you go. And you see it. He's not gaining, and he's not losing. He's stuck.
That is stuck right here in the air of that 27 machine. It's going to be tough to find a way to find the grip to prevail up to him. But if anything, Maddox feeling good about the positioning at this time. If anything, we'll see how it shakes out as this run starts to go on. The tires start to wear, but it's 9 laps to go. Can Maddox get something formulated and go forward, or will he let the lap car Johnny Wood Jr. here go and see if he can catch the leader to get his lap back? Maybe that allows something to happen there, Robert.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be an interesting question. When a lap car catches you like that, what do you do if you're Maddox?
I would let him go, is what I would do. I wouldn't worry about him. I would just let him pass me, and because you're not gaining. He's losing a tenth like every lap. You can see now he's 5 tenths. He's not gaining on him. He's slowly losing them as Christian ran a 30.5 his last lap, and we had Maddox running a 30.66. So we'll see what these guys do now. Here coming around at Christian at 30.6. And also Maddox at 30.6, but Maddox is still just a little bit slower. So I don't know, man. Woods is not catching him, so I don't see the 75 playing a factor into this anymore.
We'll have to see, but right now, a very compelling battle that's probably about to happen. Zachary King is actually farther back here, 90 of Joshua Parent and Andrew Rattel. Rattel at one point was in second there, battling for possibly a race win, got caught out with that caution, and now going to be right here in the mix with all of these drivers. But this battle rages on. You also have the 18 of Ray Walker. He's starting to catch up to the 51 of Zachary King and start to get a little bit closer there. Same with Braxton Skinner, and also the 15 of Ronnie Osborne is coming right back into the mix too. This grouping is getting stacked up for that final third position on the podium.
Oh, with 5 laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see who's going to take it home here, as they still side by side, and we still got that 15 trying to own them old tires. Gonna try to get around the 33, as the 33 is going to throw his car in front and throw that dirty air. And now we got Zach. Oh, we got these two blocking. Oh, Zachary King is blocking the 18, not letting him by.
He is doing everything in his power to try to hold this 18 back. And look at this. The 18, though, jots to the outside, gets to the right rear quarter panel. What a move from Gray Walker. That was amazing work from him, but here comes Braxton Skinner. Same for the 15. Where are they all going to go? This is going to be interesting. 3 wide here through the exit of turn number 2, and Gray Walker going to put himself into a podium position, the 18th from 30th to 4th.
And the 33 he said to the 51, move over, I'm coming through. And he gave him a little swipey sidey and said, look out, I am coming through. And Zachary King is falling as the 18's now going to put him up in the 3rd position. As we got 3 laps to go here. It looks like Christian Barnes right now is pulling away. He's got about a 2nd lead over Brandon Maddox here. And Gray Walker is trying to run down that number 23 here, but I don't believe. But Zachary King is, why is he blocking a lap car? Okay,
maybe try to keep that track position on that lap car there and also hold the rest of them back. But definitely wild scenes. But right now 2 to go as Christian Barnes up front. It's about 0.6 of a second back to Brendan Maddox. He looks for his first possible win here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. What is in store for this 27? Does he get to the white flag, or do we see a race-shattering yellow? He's going to sell it through 3 and 4 for the possible penultimate time of the night out of 4. And looking up to the flag stands, it's going to be your white flag here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series as the 27 of Christian Barnes looks for one more time to win this first race of the season.
As he's looking to get his first race of the season, all he does is he's not worried about anything else. He's just got to hit his mark as he goes down the backstretch. He's heading into turn 3 to get a first win of the season here with that 27, and he's going to look like he's going to do it, Zach.
The 27, Christian Barnes fought so hard all night long, was in the mix of the top 10, but it was a late race strategy to stay out longer than the others, and it kept him out in front, and he wins here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Christian Barnes is your winner here tonight.
Congratulations to Christian Barnes. Great call, great strategy, and we got to give a big shout out to the top 3 there, and actually the top 6, man. The 15 fought back and got, back up to 4th. Great running there for him. But Brandon Maddox, great run. Gray Walker, great run. Skinner, great run. King, a great finish here tonight. Richardford is going to bring it home in the top 7 there, Zach. What a night that guy has had.
He did an excellent job to rebound for a lot of drivers, but you can see the excitement on the 27 of Barnes. All the drivers coming up, giving him the bumps of appreciation, letting him know congratulations, letting him know that he earned it. And now Barnes is going to pull it to the front straight here at the flag stand, and he's going to burn it down for all the fans here. And man, oh man, Robert, what a scene it is here as he's going to burn it down. We're going to go here and find our drivers we're going to talk to tonight. We'll talk to our top 3 and possibly to a spotlight driver. So we'll see who are going to be there for a post-race show. Don't miss it. We'll be right back. All right, we are back here, folks, for our post-race show. And so far, we do not have our race-winning driver here, so we're going to move on to second for our post-race interviews. Let's hear from Brendan Maddox, the second place man. Hey, Brendan, is Zach up in the booth? You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Hey, man, well, second place tonight. Excellent job from you there. And it was an up and down night early in the race, up in the front there in the first stage. Then with some pit strategy, got Meyer back. How were you able to find your way back up here into the top three?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. That caution fell at a lucky time for me. I was fully committed to pitting and taking 2 tires, and I had made my bet. I was going to lay in it, whatever the outcome was. Naturally, because I pitted a little bit later than others, naturally because I pitted a little bit later than everyone else who came in, whenever Scott Fritz, I think, spun there. I had about 4 or 5 laps, so if I didn't have that, I'd have pit earlier, and I'd have missed out on that. So, but I decided, I'm just going to run long, and whatever happens, and we'll see how it plays out. So it was pretty up and down. Stages were good, and then starting stage 2 or the end of stage 2, I think Richard got into me a little bit. So I have to look back at that one and see what happened. But I think second, and then a 6th or 7th for stage finish, and a second place. It's not a bad night.
Definitely not a bad night at all. Definitely a ton of points for yourself. And second race with the new update too, and first intermediate. How do you assess it here? I mean, it seems like track position, as we know, in the dirty air is very strong. So it seems like that's very important right now.
That is true. You cannot forget about the tires, though. They play a big part. Whenever I was mired in the pack, I was just trying to hold back and not use my tires too much so that I could try to push back through the pack. I had a race at Charlotte on Thursday, and the dirty air is something else. Like whenever you cross someone's wake, they mentioned that real life drivers mention that, and you can actually feel that now in these cars, and you used to not really be able to feel it. At least stronger now. So whenever if we're taking different lines to the corner and a car in front crosses over the left or in front of you, not like taking your nose out, but taking the line down in front of you, you feel that, and it gets your car a little bit tight. So you have to be prepared for it to shoot up the track. It doesn't always, but you have to be prepared for that. And I think saving tires is going to play a portion into how you drive around those circumstances.
Definitely is going to be interesting. And next week heading to Charlotte, how you feeling about that track heading up another intermediate?
Well, we'll see. I'm about to be out of town for a week, so I'm going to come back Tuesday and put in some laps, but this is going to be a hiatus for me, so we'll see. I feel all right. I think it's going to drive as far as like tire wear and aero blocking and stuff. It's going to drive very similar to Kansas. Obviously, it's a different track. I think tires will matter a little bit more there than they did here.
Definitely is going to be an interesting one. But before we let you get out of here, Brendan, anybody want to send a shout out to for your race here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out some sponsors here. So you'll see my car was U.S. Air Force and American Air. U.S. Air Force, that is for my teammate Mason Houseman. He's deploying or going to base, I think, here soon. So I put that on the car for him tonight. And the American Airlines paint scheme is for my brother who did race with us tonight. And then shout out Castle.io, Castle Smart Alarms. They are a sponsor of mine for, this is going to be the 4th season for them. So got to shout out my sponsors there.
Well, congrats again here on the excellent run, Brendan. We'll catch you next week at Charlotte, and best of luck to you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, folks. There you heard it from the 23, Brendan Maddox. What an excellent job he did there for his run here tonight. Next, we're going to move on to our race winner, Christian Barnes. He's up here in the booth, so we'll go ahead and get that ready to go. Hey, Christian, Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, well, congrats on your first win of the season. Take us through it there. Staying out late there to catch that yellow, but definitely were a strong car all night, not just getting caught by that yellow, but definitely were up front. So take us through it, man, because you definitely pulled off an excellent win here tonight.
Yeah, on that final restart before, the fuel strat call, I had newer tires than most of the people in front of me, and I was, going forward, and I felt like I could have got to the lead, at that point. But I don't know what happened in front of me. Someone got tagged or loose or something, and I had to hit the brakes, and I fell all the way back to like 10th. So by the time I got back up there, my tires were gone. So I felt there was no way I was gonna catch him without some type of strategy call. So um, I was honestly about to pit the next lap. So if that caution didn't come out, I probably would have screwed myself. So
Definitely a great job with that strategy call there to stay out and get that track position. Once you had it there at the end, I mean, you had of course, hold back the 23 there for that run. What was kind of the mindset there? Were you looking in the mirror much, trying to use the arrow? Because we've seen it be a huge factor here tonight for sure.
once I was clear of Zach, and I saw them side by side, I didn't look at the mirror the rest of the way. I just wanted to look forward, didn't want to focus anything behind me. I know that a few times he gained just a little bit, but I felt that dirty air was enough that I probably maybe could have held him back, but I didn't want to look behind me. I just wanted to focus forward.
Definitely a great job, Christian, getting the first win. Now that you got this first win out of the way, we head to Charlotte next week. How do you feel about that? And with the pressure of not having a win, having to get get a win, how do you feel heading into Charlotte?
Oh, I feel great, honestly. Charlotte's a pretty good track for me. I just gotta stay out of trouble, try to stay up front, and just try to be there at the end like I was today.
Definitely was a great day here for you tonight, Christian. Congrats on the win. Before we let you get out of here, anybody wants to send a shout out to?
I want to thank Zach for taking a chance on me, Zachary King, and I'm proud to be able to get him a win.
Definitely was a great run for you, man. Congrats, Christian, and we will catch you next week at Charlotte. Go celebrate that win, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, you heard it there from your race winner tonight at Christian Barnes. He was definitely excited about that one, getting it out of the way, but we're going to move on to third, and what a job it was by Gray Walker. 30th to third. Let's hear from your third place man on his podium finish. Hey, Gray and Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, buddy, I tell you what, 30th to third here tonight. Excellent run for yourself. Take us through it, because it definitely, I don't know if you thought when you qualified 30th here tonight, you were going to be in third.
I honestly had no idea, but I know my qualifying, I messed up my first lap. I hit the wall off of 4, gave me a bad start to my second lap, and of course I messed it up anyways. So start all the way in the back. Then I think there was like a big wreck or something that allowed me to gain a lot of spots. Ended up getting into the points for stage 1. And then stage 2, I don't remember where I was probably like mid-pack. And then I think it was the 90. He spun in front of me, and I couldn't really avoid him. So that gave me like 2 minutes of damage. So for all of stage 2, I had to deal with that and keep trying to get it fixed whenever I could. So then it's kind of started towards the back for stage 3 and just ended up working well for me, I guess. So
definitely worked very well for yourself. And then there at the end, I mean, had to get around Zachary King. That was a close battle there. And, the battle for the podium, take us through that, because you definitely were able to find your way to the outside and get around him.
yeah, that was really intense for me. I haven't had a podium since like the start of last season. So my nerves were definitely high at that moment. And so I knew I was catching on him a good bit. I was like, oh, he's definitely used his stuff up. So I had a run off of 4 on the front stretch, and I was like, I'm gonna send it to the top here. And so I just ripped the top in 1 and 2. But at the same time, Braxton sent it to his inside and kind of got King in the middle. So I just ripped the top and was able to clear them both, and I was just able to drive away from there.
Definitely was an excellent move there, clearing them both, able to secure that podium position, Gray. And we head to Charlotte next week after getting a podium here tonight. How you feel heading into Charlotte?
I have not done a lot of Charlotte races, but I mean, I think it's relatively similar to this track. Another intermediate. I think I've been pretty decent on the intermediates throughout my BRB career, so I think I can at least get a top 10 there next week.
Well, we'll have to see how that plays out, but an excellent run here for you tonight, getting that podium finish. Before we let you get out here, though, Gray, anybody wants to shout out to you, man?
Thank you. Shout out. Okay, I misheard you. I wanna shout out Braxton Skinner, of course. He has been improving a lot, so he's definitely been doing good. I think he got a top 5 last week, got one again this week, showing a lot of improvement, getting a lot better this season. Proud of him. So I'm gonna shout him out for this.
Heck yeah. Well, congrats getting your podium here tonight, Graves, for this season. And we'll see if you can continue on this good luck here through these next few weeks here at Charlotte.
Thank you.
All right, there you heard it, folks. That was your third place driver from the 18, Gray Walker. What a job by him, driving 30th to third. So really found his way through the field, but done an excellent job there. And we're going to talk to the driver he passed to take that third position, but we felt like deserved to be the spotlight driver tonight. Was definitely one right in the mix. Once he got some track position, Zachary King able to finish 6th after qualifying 24th. So let's hear from the 51. Hey, Zachary, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing good up here in the booth. Well, I tell you what, man, congrats on a 6th place finish here tonight. You start back in that 24th position, and you found your way into some track position. And from there, it was a very good job by you to just keep up towards that front positions and hold on to what you got. I mean, take us through it because you had a battle right there coming down the end for that podium.
Yeah, so me and Christian were talking the whole time on strategy right before the caution came out that would cycle us to the front, and I just knew earlier on in the race when I stayed out after I think it was stage 1, I was able to keep the track position for up to about 20 laps before I started to fall off because I was very aggressive on my tires to try to stay up there, and I thought I would hold on for a little bit longer, but then with about I think like 4 or 5 laps to go, car just fell off, and then I just got swallowed up by the 18 and the 33, and I was just trying not to bring out a caution because I didn't want to ruin any chance that Christian had at a win. So very happy for him and everything.
Definitely an excellent job there by Christian, but also a great job by yourself too, Zachary. You know, this is your first race back since after missing Bristol last week. You know, the new update came out. How are you assessing it? Your first race back here at BRB with the update?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the new thing with the you can't turn the car off unless you're at like 65 miles an hour to save fuel. It's just something that they should have changed, but we'll not go into detail with that. But the car definitely felt heavier with the dirty air effects, and side drafting was a really good thing. And I really didn't feel like you could get really big runs off the top. I mean, a few people could, but I feel like usually when you watch a Kansas race, the top can usually prevail. But it really didn't feel like that. It really felt like the bottom was the preferred line. But yeah, it was a really fun race. I'm really happy with the 6th place finish. You know, it's a great points day for our team, especially in point standings wise for team standings. And we're just gonna try to go on and use that next week over at Charlotte.
Definitely a great team night for you guys, Zachary. And like you said, heading to Charlotte, how's the feelings heading into Charlotte?
Haven't raced Charlotte in a while. Usually use it in the trucks or the street stocks, but we're gonna just go back to work, go through the whole week of practice, and see where we at next week, and just try to be there in the mix like we were tonight. And that's all we can really do. We can just hope to be in the mix. I know I'm not very competitive, but still, I want to get up there and I want to do the best I can for my team.
Definitely did an excellent job here tonight, Zachary. And before we let you go, though, and celebrate this with your team here tonight, anybody want to send a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to shout out to Banff Demo and Renovations. They were on Christian's car tonight. They're usually they're an alternate sponsor for me. Gilbert's Fleet out of Okeechobee. They are my main primary sponsor. K1 Speed, the General, everybody that helps fund this team and helps us be able to give our drivers incentives on winning. I'm not going to go into more detail on that, but just anybody that helps support our team, all my family back at home, all of Christian's family. Me and Christian got really close over the last couple of months, so I'm really thankful for him taking a shot with Meatball and joining Meatball Motorsports. Now, the tag doesn't really give it the word, but we do crash a lot of cars, but we also do here have a lot of fun and hopefully try to avoid those Meatball flags.
Definitely love to hear that, Zachary. Congrats on 6 here tonight, man, and congrats on the team win. Also, y'all going to celebrate it, and we'll catch you next week at Charlotte.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Robert.
All right there, folks. You heard it first from himself, Zachary King, able to bring home 6th here tonight in the Spotlight driver. It was an excellent job, and man, oh man, it has been such a wild night. But we have to give a huge shout out to all the sponsors who helped make it happen here. Of course, tonight, Xcelerate Studios, they were the sponsor tonight for this race here at the Kansas Speedway, and it was always a great thing to have amazing sponsors here supporting these leagues. But also got, of course, give a shout out to ButtKicker, you know, the title sponsor, of course, of them. Make sure you go over to ButtKicker.com, check them out. You also got RevSimShop.com, where you can go get your custom button boxes, paints, and pro race control services. You also have Maddox Graphics out there to check out, and also Performance Food Groups, who help put on everything here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. It has been an excellent night here. And as we end the post-race show and the post-race interviews, we're going to head into the portion where we look at these official results. So you can see Christian Barnes pulling off the victory. Brendan Maddox, though, able to come home in second. Gray Walker there in third. Ronnie Osmer able to bring it home in fourth, and what a job by him on them older tires to do that. Braxton Skinner, he brings it home in fifth, a great top five for him. Zachary King, we heard from him, he finishes at sixth. Richard Wolfspratt, the night he had, finishes seventh. Joshua Parent finishes second last week at Bristol, gets another top 10 here in eighth. Dustin Stallings, our points leader, is going to come home in ninth, and rounding out the Freaky Fast top 10 is Andrew Rattel. As we look through the rest of the order, Robert, we see right there our very own Sam Dyer in 11th, of course, right outside that top 10. But man, I tell you, it was a wild night for some of these drivers farther back through this list. It was chaotic, and at some points just getting caught out by strategy.
Well, yeah, that a lot of it has to do with strategy. Tonight's race was actually a really good race from these guys. I got to give them bravos. A big turnaround from the drivers. We had some stuff going on, and some yellows, and unfortunately we looked through the rest of the field here as Carl Pooler, unfortunately down here, finishing 32nd, 147 laps down. Not a good night for him. Coulter Clark, he had a car that's, decided to jump on top of him, and, with Caden there in the 19, land on top of him. Hood went flying up. And then you also had Jared in the 98 finishing 30th. Not a good night for him. But yeah, and then the rest of the field here you see, and that's going to be your unofficial results here for tonight. But what a good race here, Zach. But another one in the book here. This was round number 7 here at Kansas. Man, what a race, I have to say. I don't know what your final thoughts of tonight's event here was, but it was a good turnaround then. Like you said, that yellow caught a lot of cars off guard, and it helped other cars, go from the back to the front and have great finishes for their season so far.
That's for sure, Robert. It was a great turnaround race, I think, for these guys. Still a few moments where I think they're going to want to clean up. That'll be work for them to do, of course, still. But man, just such a really good race. It showed tonight too a lot about this new build is very much track position. You have to time your strategy well. You have to be very smart also with your tires. The tires do fall off, but you got to be, very critical on how you make those passes too with the air. So it is fun to watch. I had a blast tonight, and I can't wait to head to Charlotte. I think Charlotte, in my opinion, might be one of the best tracks on the sim, just the way it races. So I'm hoping that kind of carries over to this package even more, and we see an excellent race there at Charlotte where they're all over that place.
Exactly. And we all learned a lot here tonight too, as what we heard from Brandon, cars that, were running the high line and then they come down and cross in front of your nose, and you felt that, that's stuff that is brand new. And I know tonight these guys, they've learned a lot here tonight on exactly how this car runs at 1.5 miles. And this is what I do believe a lot of leagues need to learn this new car is get into the 1.5 mile tracks and, learn the physics and what's going on with this vehicle here. And they'll be able to take that and apply it to the next, our next event, like you said, at Charlotte, one of the best tracks in iRacing. So next week, round number 8, it's going to be very interesting to see here, where the point standings lie, who moved up, who moved down, who learned, who didn't, and move on to the next event here. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done for the week here. We also got tomorrow night at WSSR. That's going to be running at Las Vegas again. We know what that was packed racing, right? That's what we seen in the in these cars, that you could not get away from each other. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with the WSSR. They go to Las Vegas, and we're going to be able to see what the difference is. Is it going to be packed racing? Is it going to be pushed? I mean, we're going to learn a lot tomorrow night too, Zach, watching you guys out there tomorrow night at WSSR.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. I haven't had a chance to run a lap, so I know I'm going to run amazing, and I can't wait to see how I do. But, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how these guys attack the racetrack. I really don't know what to expect.
So, yeah.
It's such a plate race before where you got so stacked up the whole run, really never got away from each other. I don't really know what to expect till the green flag drops, and I think that's the beauty of it.
Well, that's it. Before it was knuckle racing, and you didn't let go of the wheel and you were sweating. Now you might be able to sit back and take a drink and just ride around. Who knows? But tune in tomorrow night at 8:50 as we're going to have, WSSR with Sam Dyer, Richard, calling all the action with me running everything in the background. So make sure you stop by, say hi, and see what's going on with them guys. But until then, we're going to get ready to head off here for tonight. And we do appreciate BRB Racing League letting Freaky Fast fill in for their, broadcasting as Pit Stop is off doing their summer thing. But Pit Stop TV will be back during, when we start into the playoffs and have some more great coverage with them to the end of the season. But until then, we'd like to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show here with Robert Moyers calling all the action with Zach Hall. But until tomorrow night, our last thing we'd like to say to everybody out there, God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.